Top it off with Chicky and Pete's world famous crab fries. Buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply only at Chickies and Pete's.
I got a line.
He got a line.
She got a line.
We got 4 lines. Cricket Nation. Q finger guns. Really easy. Super stress-free. 5G so fast. Like blazing fast. Games and memes. You'll have a blast. You can get past 5G across 4 lines. You can get past 5G across 4 lines. As we discuss, take it from us. We 4 are one. Cricket Nation.
And only $25 a line. Welcome to more lines. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Discount varies by line. Fees may apply. Terms and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
Yeah! 97.3 ESPN presents The Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
Now, live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
Hurts put Barkley to his left. Slot to the far side. A.J. Brown to the near side. Hurts, this time, to Barkley. Off the right side. Breaks a tackle. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Saquon Barkley! He broke it. 25 yards.
And that's how it sounded yesterday on 97.3 ESPN as Saquon Barkley. He breaks a big one late in the game, and the Eagles knock off the Baltimore Ravens, and the battle for Pennsylvania the battle of I-95, I should say, goes to the Eagles. What's up, everybody? The Sports Bash is live on 97.3 ESPN at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. I'm your host, Mike Gill. Pete Giordano. Pete G is my on-site producer. Josh Henning is back in the Ocean Casino Resort studios. Well, the Eagles passed their biggest test. They beat the Ravens yesterday, and with Saquon Barkley late in the game, as he's done so many times, he gets that back-breaking run, and the Eagles hold off the Ravens yesterday. A lot to discuss. What's up, everybody? Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving. We are live at the Fanatic Sportsbook. It is our 4th show in a row out on the road, so I'm kind of forgetting what the Ocean Casino Resort studios look like, but I definitely know what the Fanatic Sportsbook looks like, and I have to imagine, PG, that this place was buzzing yesterday. 9-0, the Eagles are down early in the game, and it kind of felt like, this Ravens team is the more physical team. They're taking it to the Eagles, and then the Eagles, as they've done many times this season over the 8-game win streak, they kind of settled into the game. They got the defense in check, and they were able to kind of hold on in that first quarter. Another slow start for the Eagles. It has become that kind of their forte. It seems like they keep hitting the snooze button over and over and over again. But when they finally get out of bed, they're ready to rock and roll. They wake up, they hold that number 9 to the Ravens, and the Ravens just could not get anything going. So many things we could discuss as we get ready to look at this game, but ultimately the Eagles' defense stepped up in this game and shut down the league's best offense, and the Eagles' offense, as it has done, it is not this high-fly scoring fun offense sometimes, but it gets the job done, and they were able to get the big touchdown run from Saquon Barkley, but they were also able to get a couple of plays in the RPO. You had a couple of plays from Jalen Hurts. You had the touchdown pass to Dallas Goedert. But ultimately, this was a team win. This was an offense. This was a defense. And I guess if you beat the Baltimore Ravens on the road, do we have to say, you know what? If I had questions, those questions have been answered.
To me, it goes back to the Rams game. This is a team that went out to L.A., they took care of the Rams. We all thought that was a tough game. They come back home. Then they got to travel back down to Baltimore, and they take care of the Ravens on the road in a late game. The NFL world is watching. And to me, Mike, it was the fourth quarter that did it. Eagles took care of business in the fourth quarter. Yet again, Saquon Barkley is a guy who can break out a 30, 40, 50-yard run at any time, and he did it again in the fourth quarter, and that's been their calling card.
Well, listen, they had him bottled up. The story of the game was these two running backs that were on pace to both go over 2,000 yards, and that was kind of the story. And then both teams had kind of done a great job of keeping the other teams back down. And then the Eagles get the big run. They get that 26-yard run with like 7 minutes left in that game, and it was just Barkley. You're just kind of waiting and waiting. But the Eagles stayed patient with the run game. I know so many people, they get frustrated with the play calls early. I saw a lot of people complaining about the play calls early in that game, but they just kind of kept sticking with the run and sticking with the run until, bang, they hit you with that big one, and they just kind of wear you down and wear you down. But I thought there was a couple things with the offense in the game yesterday that I thought stood out. And one was I thought that Jalen Hurts had a pretty good game yesterday, made a couple nice throws. The throw he makes out to Goddard into the flat, he wasn't great yesterday, but I thought his temperament was really good. He didn't try to force too many things. And they're playing, remember, no Devontae Smith yesterday. And yet they didn't really have a problem in extending a couple of the drives, and I thought that Jalen Hurts wasn't great yesterday. He didn't have MVP type of day, but I thought his temperament in the offense was really good yesterday. He didn't try to force too much. He wasn't saying, hey, we're down 9-0, and we have to try to do this and try to make it all up. I thought he was he did a very good job in staying within the offense early in that game when the game could have kind of got away from them, and then they kind of climbed their way back in. But as he's done, and if you were watching the MVP odds as that game went on, Saquon Barkley was falling behind, and then he runs for that touchdown. I went right to check out the MVP odds. He was plus 300, and then he went to plus 250 by the end of the day.
Well, and then what about last night after Josh Allen makes all those plays in the snow?
It is now a clear – he was the favorite yesterday, and then as the game went on last night, he kind of distanced himself. But Saquon passed Lamar Jackson yesterday. He is now number 2 in both sports books. But, we're looking at the offense, and I look at the offense yesterday and say, wow, they, got that big play from Barkley again, and this has kind of been the formula for them. They just kind of run it. They get a couple of big plays in the pass game here and there. But Jalen Hurts throws the ball under 20 times for under 120 yards yesterday, and they win the game.
To me, the game script didn't ask for him to do much more than that, right?
Well, that's why I'm giving him some credit.
They're not asking him to do much more than throw the ball 20 times, don't turn it over, take a minimal amount of sacks, make the big third down completions to A.J. Brown when you need to, or Goddard. He had that nice third down to Goddard, and that was it.
That's why I'm giving him some credit for not trying to do too much. Yeah, I think he, was frustrating at times. You're probably saying, man, but he didn't try to do too much when they were down. He didn't try to get a 40-yard pass play because they're down 9-0. And, that's on the offensive side. I thought, obviously Barkley with the big run late in that game. It's a huge story in that game that Barkley, their 8th straight win, they win 24-19, 107 yards rushing from Saquon. 63 of the yards came in the fourth quarter. So, again, it's Barkley not having a huge day early, but having the big day late in that game. But by the way, 1,766 scrimmage yards this season. It's the second most by a player for his first 12 games with a team in NFL history. Eric Dickerson, who they did a whole piece on before the game yesterday, is the other one. Barkley has now had 50 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown in the fourth quarter in each of the last 3 games. That tells you they're sticking with the run, and they're running these games out, and Barkley is finding that little crease and hitting it for the big one. This game, though, for me yesterday was won by the defense. We've been wondering all season long what this defense is. Did we finally get an answer that this defense is legit? Are the Baltimore Ravens, is that offense a legit enough offense for us to say, you know what, I've got to hand it to the Eagles. I've had my doubts, but it's time for me to start saying, because, listen, no Brandon Graham yesterday, and yes, I was a little concerned on how the other guys would step up. I thought Jalix Hunt played a really good game yesterday. 58, I tweeted this out. Watch number 58. He had a really good game yesterday, setting the edge on the run. He got to the quarterback. I think he had a half a sack in the game, but I thought 58, Jalix Hunt played really well. but they pressured Lamar Jackson yesterday. They got pressure. Josh Sweat got pressure. They got pressure in a couple different ways. Zach Bond with the sack. Jalen Hunt with the sack. Jalen Carter was a man-child out there yesterday. Nolan Smith had a sack. They had pressure all day yesterday on the Baltimore Ravens. So are we ready to concede, if we were not believing in this defense, that the Eagles' defense has enough pressure, that they can generate enough pressure, and that their back end is good enough? Look, I think the linebackers have sold us, right? Are we sold on Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean as the two linebackers making a difference in this defense? Are we sold on those guys? I think we're certainly sold at this secondary. Look, they held up yesterday. No Darius Slay. He did not play. Then Reed Blankenship left the game, and they still were able to kind of hold up. The tackle by Cooper DeJean late in that game, like 7 minutes left in the game, he picks up and body slams Derrick Henry. That's akin to the tackle he made against Jamar Chase in the open field. That kid has made two kind of tone-setting tackles this season that are definitely memorable. So are we ready to put our guard down and say the Eagles' defense is legitimate?
I would say they're the best in the league. I mean, numbers-wise, I'm sure they're certainly up there. But if you look at their resume over the past several games, you hold the Baltimore Ravens to 19 points. You hold the Commanders to 18 points. You held the Bengals to 17 points, and we saw what they did yesterday to Pittsburgh. So, I mean, if you look at the body of work that they're putting together these last 8 games, this 8-game winning streak, and really back to New Orleans, that they were world beaters to start the season. The Saints were. Then they run into the Eagles, and the Eagles defense steps up there. But the body of work that this Eagles defense has, best in the league.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, because you're wondering, okay, who is the elite edge rusher on this team? They don't really have that guy. I mean, even with Brandon Graham, he was not an elite edge rusher. I think with Brandon Graham was just more of an intangibles guy. He doesn't get a lot of tackles. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that, but he got some pressure. He doesn't get a lot of sacks, but he got pressure. He doesn't make a lot of tackles, but he sets the edge. He is a guy that doesn't show up in the box score, Brandon Graham. So I was wondering, him not showing up in the box score, the intangibles that he brings to this defense, how was he going to be missed? Well, I think them not having an elite edge rusher has been the biggest question. But, man, they're finding a way to get pressure. I thought Josh Sweat played a really good game yesterday. Jalen Carter was awesome yesterday, as we mentioned. But they dialed up a blitz randomly. It wasn't a lot, but they picked their spot when Zach Bond got that huge sack on 3rd down, which was a big spot in the game. Why? It pushes them into field goal range or further back into field goal range. And the problems that Justin Tucker is having, that pushed him far enough back where he had to think about that kick a little bit more. And Tucker missed, 2 field goals and an extra point yesterday?
Yep.
Or 3 field goals and an extra point? Two and an extra point.
3 kicks, 2 field goals, 1 extra point was a doink.
Crazy. The other thing with the defense, too, you take a look at what the linebackers have done. Zach Bond yesterday, 13 tackles. Nakobe Dean yesterday, 13 tackles. And Nakobe Dean had 10. They had 23 tackles from the linebacking position yesterday. Those two guys, we talk about this so much with this Eagles team. They tackle. The first 3 weeks of the season, 2 to 4 weeks of the season, I guess, when they were 2-2, they were not tackling. And it was a problem for them. They have started to tackle. The 2 linebackers are not a question. They're not a problem. And they are tackling. I think it's the biggest turnaround as to why, when you talk and say, do you believe in this Eagles defense? And I say, sure, I absolutely do. And you would say, well, tell me why. It's not because they have a ferocious pass rush.
Right.
It's because they tackle.
Well, they play as a unit. They might not have a Myles Garrett or a TJ Watt who makes plays all over the field, but they play together. They play as a unit. They have a lot of guys that play with chips on their shoulder. They have young guys. That speaks to Vic Fangio and what he's brought to this Eagles defense. So, again, they just play as a unit. They play together.
To Pete's point earlier about the stats, about what the numbers say about the Eagles, let me run it down for you guys really quick. The Eagles are 4th in the NFL in points allowed this year. They are number 1 in fewest total yards allowed. They have allowed the 6th fewest touchdown passes this year. They have allowed the 7th fewest rushing yards this year. And the Eagles are 8th in the NFL. Actually, they're tied for 6th. I'm sorry. Tied for 6th in the NFL with 36 sacks, and that is on the 8th fewest pressures in the NFL.
It's wild. The way this defense has come around and has really grown up. I mean, you can think about it. They've got 2 rookies really anchoring the back end of that secondary with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. You've got those 2 guys who are really the standout players in that secondary. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, obviously, I think played a pretty good game yesterday, but had a big moment in the game that he got the team kind of riled up. You brought Tristan McCollum into the game to play safety once Blankenship
Huge play
went
by
down,
him.
And
He
he
almost
made
had
a
an
big
interception,
play.
right?
Well, it's good that he didn't intercept that pass because they ended up getting the ball. And by the way, that ended up being a factor because they got the ball and they ended up kicking a field goal, which originally got blocked, but there was a penalty. But then they kicked the field goal. Now, they ended up winning the game by 5, so I guess it wasn't that big of a factor. But just think about how different the game would have felt in that situation. But if McCollum intercepts that pass, they probably don't get the field goal in that situation. And who knows what ends up happening there. Maybe, who knows? You never know, right? But him not getting that interception ends up kind of working out for them in field position-wise. But I'm looking at this defense and wondering, if there's a team offensively. Now, Detroit's a different offense than Baltimore. Baltimore is more downhill, running the football. They don't have a big weapon in the pass game. The big weapon in the pass game is Jackson, right? His ability to kind of make plays, keep plays going. They don't have a receiver that really is the stand. I mean, they're throwing the ball to Nelson Aguilar, for God's sake.
Right, and they do have
2 drops by Aguilar yesterday.
They do have 5 losses on the year, so they are beatable. I mean, they have lost
Well,
games.
right. It's almost like now you're talking yourself into saying, well, they're not all that good, the Ravens, right? I mean, it's like, hey, this is a team that you go on the road and you beat, and now you're saying, well, they got 5 losses. Is it all that impressive of a win? They don't have a great weapon in the pass game.
I mean, their 1 loss, Tampa's got 6 losses, so that's who you're kind of working with here.
Well, let me ask you guys, why do we do that then? It feels like this entire winning streak, the next day it's like, well, they weren't as good as we said they were. Are we just creating excuses for the wins, or are we just not appreciating this team?
It's a good question. Listen, I mean, I think Baltimore's a pretty good team that right now has some major flaws. One, the kicker is a disaster. I mean, he's killing them. What happens if that's a guy who makes those kicks 100 times out of 100 in a year's past?
I think he's in the 70s now, 70%.
If he's not Justin Tucker, he's probably cut.
Well, the stat they showed last night on SportsCenter was in the Ravens' losses this year, Mike, they have lost by a total of 22 points. Justin Tucker's missed kicks in those losses have accounted for a lost 22 points. So literally, if the guy makes the kicks, they don't lose all their games.
He left 7 points on the board yesterday. He missed 2 extra field goal and an extra point. And the field goal, the one was a 53, so it's not a gimme. But
the extra point should have been made.
No, of course the extra point should have been made. I mean, I could go out there and make an extra point, but for God's sakes, the one
that just tells you that he's missing from all over the place.
He missed from 41 or 43. I mean, that's a kick that Justin Tucker makes 100 times out of 100. So yeah, they left 7 points on the field yesterday. They lost the game by 5. So yeah, it was a big factor in that game. But I mean, that's not, to me, I think Baltimore's a good team because they're physical. They're a big, physical running team. And I think that what was impressive about it is if you had questions about the Eagles' physicality, they out-physicaled the Ravens yesterday. And that's what I liked about the win. They got down, but they still went toe-to-toe and said, we're not going away, right? You're up 9-0. And by the way, the touchdown throw that Jackson makes to Andrews, I mean, that's an unbelievable throw. And that's an unbelievable catch, high point by Andrews there.
Yep.
So give him a lot of credit on the play and the throw. But after that, the Eagles shut them down. They got the late, cheapy touchdown. But other than that, they absolutely dominated that game and dominated them up front. That's where I liked what I saw, was they out-physicaled the Ravens in their building.
Are you okay with this recipe, though? Maybe falling down 9-0, but the defense plays well. They control the line of scrimmage. Hurts doesn't get asked to do too much, and then by the second half, fourth quarter, Barkley rips off a big run.
You know what?
And that's how you win
I'm
the game.
okay with it. And you know why? Yesterday they're down 9-0. We asked the question, can they get down 9-0 and get themselves back into the game? And they showed that they could. I mean, that was one of the questions we had asked all week. All right, let's say they're down 10-0 in the game, 4-2 scores, and they didn't. And then, by the way, they didn't have to get away from what they wanted to do. They only threw the ball 19 times in the game yesterday, and Hurts had under 120 yards passing. If you can win a game on the road against a Super Bowl contending team, and that's the formula, if that's the formula that you use against Baltimore, I don't know why you couldn't use that against the other contending teams in this league.
And really, again, that third quarter, it was scoreless. There was a lot of 3-and-outs. The offense had 3 yards total in the third quarter on 2 possessions. So in the third quarter, you were kind of worried a little. Were you worried in the third quarter that the offense wasn't getting going like they usually are? Again, 3 yards total in that quarter.
I think part of that, Pete, was the fact that, what you said, Mike, is the fact that Baltimore's a physical team. They are one of the best run defenses in all of football. And I think Philadelphia was trying to find some seams in that run defense, and they were struggling.
I'll tell you, anytime Philadelphia wins a game without one of their receivers on the field, that's a big deal for me. I tweeted this out yesterday, and people have been retweeting and liking it all day. They ran a slant to A.J. Brown early in the game, and he made a guy miss. He gets a first down. I said, that play should be in the playbook 5 to 7 times a week. They should just say, here you go, A.J., catch it, make somebody miss, get a first down. And they did it like 2 times yesterday. I'm like, that play is a home run every single time. I love the little slip out to Goddard. It was a good job by Jalen Hurts on not taking too long to deliver the football to him. So it wasn't, they had a throw to Dotson. I actually remember Dotson making a catch yesterday. They didn't, for them to win a game without Devontae Smith, that to me is an impressive day for them, because we know how much the drop-off is for them when Smith does not play or Brown does not play. Early in the season, when they didn't have Brown, they got beat. In fact, they haven't lost a game that Brown's played this year. Every game that he's played, they have won.
Right, 8-0. And really, if you look at the stat sheet, team stats-wise, Ravens kind of not dominated, but the Ravens beat the Eagles time of possession, third down efficiency, total yardage. So box score-wise, Baltimore kind of had the edge there, but again, 24-19 Eagles.
And think about it. Neither team scored in the third quarter.
Right.
Neither team scoring in the third quarter. Philadelphia goes down 9-0. They give up a field goal in the second, but then they don't give up another point until the last, drive of the game with 2 seconds left. They shut Baltimore out in the second half, and, the fact that they were able to score that Barkley touchdown in the fourth quarter, they stuck to their formula, and they knocked the Ravens off of what they wanted to do.
And it's interesting, guys, on the text board at 609-403-0973, Pete, you bring up all the numbers about Baltimore played better. Tuckahoe Tom chimes in and says, I'm 65. I'm an Eagles fan my whole life. It's the first time I can remember we are the ones getting lucky.
Well, they weren't getting so lucky yesterday because I thought the officiating in that game was atrocious against Philadelphia. I mean, listen, I thought the officiating in that game was putrid, and Philadelphia found a way. So I don't know, where was the luck in the game? I guess Tucker
missing all those field goals. Yeah,
he's been bad all year, though. Holy mackerel, guys! If I told preseason the Eagles would be 10-2 and being talked about as one, if not the best team in the league, we would be all ecstatic. Time to appreciate and enjoy this team and stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah, I think listen, this team is really good. I didn't have a lot of questions. Where's my man Todd and Brigantine that said he couldn't find a way for them to win 7 games?
He's nowhere to be found.
Nowhere. Come on, Todd and Brigantine, show yourself today. Today's a day to say, you know what? I was way off base on this team, and I'm ready to admit it. I think that this team, they were 10-1 last year. This was the week that it started to fall apart for them. Are they going arrow up, or are you saying, I think the signs are pointing that the arrow's going to turn and go down?
It certainly feels like it's a collision course between Philadelphia and Detroit in that NFC title game.
We'll get into that. We'll look at the odds. Saquon Barkley, by the way. If you wanted to bet him for MVP, it's too late now. You should have got on when he was plus 6,000. but you certainly missed the boat now, because now the odds you're not making any money on that because it's realistic. Nick Sirianni today at 3:30. Grayson's Grades coming up at 3. On the other side, Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, pressofac.com, on the Sports Bash live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Eagles win the game over the Baltimore Ravens.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Keeping the fans entertained and happy.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Score a touchdown when you bank with Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Catch lower rates on loans and higher rates on savings. You'll cheer when you don't have to pay a penny to get your own money, since they offer 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs. Get the details or open an account online with just a $25 minimum deposit at JerseyShoreFCU.org, or swing to a branch in Northfield, Galloway, Hemington, or Rio Grande. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. At Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale, get a king for the price of a queen and a free adjustable base with select Sealy beds, all with a low price guarantee. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Looking for the perfect RV to hit the open road this fall? Look no further than Hitch RV, your premier RV dealer. They're offering unbeatable pricing during their fall reduction sale on a wide range of RVs, from cozy travel trailers to luxurious motorhomes. Hitch RV is dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and quality RVs. Visit them today at hitchrv.com/Berlin or call 856-629-7400. Hitch RV, your adventure awaits.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
The best call to make on game day is ordering catering from the Piccadilly Inn. For parties big or small, the Pick does it all. Your guests will be cheering for the Pick spin on football favorites like pulled pork nachos, cheesesteaks, burgers, and their award-winning buffalo wings, tails, and ears. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 at the Piccadilly Inn. Join the flock and follow the Pick on Facebook or at Piccadilly.com for their Pick game specials. And be sure to pre-order to guarantee your spot in Sunday's lineup.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, AI, how many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
The Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
Hey, AI, I had a fall recently. I need to recover. Please help me walk again.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older and I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care, but here's what I found for the best care near you.
Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, trusted leaders in skilled nursing rehabilitation and senior care, and proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Visit Boot Barn this week to save on top quality holiday gifts. We're offering holiday specials right now where you can get $50 off select men's exotic boots, 25% off select outerwear, Western shirts, flannels, and jeans. We're also offering savings on select workwear and children's Western wear. Visit us this week and save on top quality holiday gifts. Boot Barn. Unwrap the West.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and more. Bottles so delightful, whoa, whoa, whoa. Priced so amazingly low, low, low.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
I need a new car. Under 20 grand? Okay, well, what's my trade worth? You know what? I'm going to Matt Blatt Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS, under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999. With any trades, that's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and into your new Kia with 0 down, 0 payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. So bring any trade, because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, 24 EV9, $13.89 per thousand finance. Not all will qualify. Credit name and down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblackkia.com for complete details, or 888-505-6667. Our price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. KMF rebates and incentives to dealer. Expires 12/4/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And it just keeps getting better.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, 2:30, we're live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at the Gallery Bar, booking games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. The Sports Bash is live. Eagles win. They beat the Baltimore Ravens in probably their best performance defensively of the season. This is a really good Ravens offense, and the Eagles shut them out pretty much in the second half, save for a late touchdown. We're asking you, at Mike Gill Show, you can follow along, watch the show with a live video, at Mike Gill Show, to vote and weigh in. What impressed you the most about the Eagles win in Baltimore? Was it the defense, no Brandon Graham yesterday, or the offense to win without Devontae Smith? You know, we got a touchdown run from Saquon Barkley. He had 63 yards in the fourth quarter of the game yesterday, and right now he has 481 yards rushing in the fourth quarter this season. It's the second most by any player through 12 games of the season since Edgerrin James in 2000. So he is having a big year, but he's doing it in the big moments, Mike McGarry. And we talked a lot about, could Saquon Barkley really be an MVP? He didn't, like the number 107 with the touchdown run, not like, wow, what a thing, but another moment for Saquon yesterday. Where would this team be without him?
Money of anything in the National Football League, $78 million, 50 of which was because of Russell Wilson running hard for him. And yet the Broncos have been able to overcome all that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a league where everybody likes to throw. A lot of teams throw. But these teams that went out and ran the ball, that got running backs, Derrick Henry, we saw them. The Eagles, though, found out a way to bottle Henry up. So I guess the question is, was the defensive performance yesterday enough to win us over and say, you know what? Stop asking questions about this defense. They're legit.
Against the Browns, they go to their bye before a game against the Indianapolis Colts also. Setting them on today is a PCL injury. The question is whether or not they'll be able to return this season.
Yeah, Mike, how many times do you see a team in today's day where the quarterback has 19 attempts for 118 yards and they win the game pretty much, I don't want to say going away, but, they got a garbage time touchdown late to make the score look closer. but to only have to throw the ball 20, and you're down 9-0 in that game.
Discipline. Lawrence already was dealing with a bad left shoulder, left shoulder and the concussion. The Jaguars are going to be smart and might be else to be placed again this season at this point in time. And of course, as for the other pressure issues, Jason Hill suffered a ligament injury this weekend. He's done for the season. There's a hit that could potentially be 5 years. Jason Hill at SBA and confirmed he is out the season and before his ACL on Sunday.
All right. Well, that's one of the first people I've heard go that far. What is your eye seeing that says the Eagles have surpassed them? Because I think that's, I want to say, a little hot take there, McGarry.
Visiting team with all their movements. In fact, Nuggets last night was 9 of 19 free throws in the law. The percentage of free throws for teams coming into the dome right now is at 72.3%. 12 games. Now, look throughout the league. The only team that is shooting worse is your Golden State Warriors. So there certainly is an effect that's going on. You see a guy grabbing Joe Green yesterday on a horse hat.
Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, pressofac.com. And, you take a look at – I thought what was impressive, too, was, Mike, they have struggled in games when there's no Devontae Smith. Now, they didn't light the scoreboard up, but for them to beat an opponent like Baltimore on the road without Smith kind of shows you that this team has the toughness and grit to find a way to win when they're not at their best.
When you make that many field goals, nobody can use all the free throws you made in Ron 2400 to bring one to the line. All right, then the run game. What about surprise, surprise, surprise? You have to choose the run between the power.
Yeah, and the pass rush. I mean, that's another thing that I want to get to because we've been wondering all year. They don't have that elite guy. They don't have the, T.J. Watt. They don't have that number one pass rusher. And we were wondering, do they have enough pass rush? Well, is that question answered, or is that going to be something that's ongoing? Because, Baltimore, you look at them, they're a team that, they're dynamic offensively, but they don't have that number one receiver. But the Eagles were able to get pressure yesterday, and I think they really bothered Lamar Jackson, who missed some throws yesterday. It really, it's interesting because, all right, Mike, it's interesting because you're at this spot of the season where everything fell apart last year. Does this team have arrow going up, or do you see any concerns and worries that there could be a turnaround to what we saw at this stage last year? What do you think the biggest reason is for that? Why is it that this team floundered down the stretch and has persevered through that? All right, Mike, you got the Eagles win. Of course, that's the big story over the weekend there. By the way, we had we haven't talked since Wednesday of last week. A lot has happened. Sixers won a game, but tomorrow night, Joel Embiid still listed as out, knee/personal reasons. Give us a take on where you feel this thing has kind of matriculated to now, that he's still not ready. Why personal reasons? Yeah, we'll see. They play tomorrow night. No Embiid tomorrow night. By the way, Andre Drummond also out, but they did play well. It was the best game they've played by far the other night, and they did it, Mike, with a lot of young guys. They kind of said, all right, let's give the kids a shot here. You saw K.J. Martin, saw Ricky Council Jr. get a little bit more burn in the game, and they went wire to wire. Best they've looked all season long. Mike, we saw you Thanksgiving. There was a game, Atlantic City, Holy Spirit, and then Sunday you were up at Rutgers to wrap up the final game of the high school football season 2024. It's in the book. Give us a little overview of this football season.
It's been really hard to keep our marriage from falling apart.
Well, a football season is wrapped up, and we'll be getting ready for high school basketball soon. Mike McGarry will be all over that, and, of course, everything else that's happening. Phillies hot stove when that starts to heat up. Sixers, if they can get their act together. And, of course, the stretch run for the Philadelphia Eagles here on the Sports Bash. All right, Mike. Well, always appreciate you, pal. Good to see you Thanksgiving. Sorry that wasn't a better game for us. Man, oh, man. Sloppy day out there. We did. And, by the way, I brought the donut. You were a little late. I feel you there. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. You know, that was we did the game on Thanksgiving morning. We had the live video on our website thanks to BFA Live Sports Productions. And people in the chat were wanting to know, Peachy, did I bring the donut for McGarry?
You did bring that donut.
He wasn't there.
You're a man of your word.
Hey, come on.
It's a good man.
You know, sometimes people bring the donut and you're acting like they're a show-off. Like, really, you had to go get a donut? No one wants to eat your donut because then you make the guy feel bad.
That's right.
So, you know, I know that guy. Guy that always shows up with the donut. Bagels.
Bagels.
Guy comes up, shows up with like 13 bagels.
That's my sweet spot right there.
Hey, coming up, we've got so much more to get into. By the way, a lot of text messages. Let's round up some good texts. By the way, Todd in Brigantine chimed in on the text.
Oh, he did?
board. He's out there listening today.
All right. I can't wait to hear what he has to say.
Hear that text message and more. 609-403-0973. 609-403-0973. Hit us up on the text board. Were you more impressed with the Eagles offensively yesterday, or were you more impressed with the Eagles defense yesterday? Which unit do you believe in more? Who can win them a game? Biggest game of the year. You trust the Eagles offense or the Eagles defense? 609-403-0973. 609-403-0973. We see your text messages coming in. We'll continue to read and react to them throughout the day. Plus Scott Grayson's grades at 3 o'clock today. Only on the Sports Bash, live at the Fanatics Sportsbook at the Gallery Bar Booking Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2024 season this Sunday, hosting the Carolina Panthers.
Looking, he is firing, and it is caught for a touchdown! H.J. Brown!
Pre-game coverage starts at noon with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. The Nizam's Indian Restaurant on Route 40 in Egg Harbor Township is ready to serve you delicious Indian dishes. NJ.com ranked them as the #2 best restaurant in all of New Jersey. And this just in. It's their Eagles football special. Your table receives free tandoori, spicy chicken wings if the Eagles win for dine-in customers only. Join them for a special lunch buffet, Fridays through Sundays from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Visit thenizams.com for more information.
Winter is approaching. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Kelvy Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Kelvy Electric, the premier electrical contractor, serving South Jersey for over 110 years. Visit KelvyElectric.com today and stay ahead of any storm.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep.
At Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale, get a king for the price of a queen and a free adjustable base with select Sealy beds, all with a low price guarantee.
Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Tired of hearing no? Everywhere you go, we turn no into go during Black Nissan's November sales event. Say no to high-priced new cars. Brand new Matte Black Nissan Sentra S, just $19,999. Say no to low trade offers. AJ the Trade Man wants your trade, no matter the make, miles, or condition. Say no to down payments. Say no to payments for 90 days. And say no to high interest rates. 60 months, 0% financing on every clearly marked new Nissan. Backed by Matt Blatt's 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Tired of hearing no to a discount on a new ride? New 25 Sentra S, under 20 grand.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Approved Tier 1 credit for NEMAC. Negative equity finance. VIN number SY231649. MSRP 22730 plus tax tag at $689.50. Offers can't be combined. 0% for 60 months. Call 877-289-6667 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends 12/5/24. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
Something is happening here. Off the New Jersey coast, a new offshore wind project is generating nearly $2 billion in economic benefits for the state. We're generating thousands of local jobs, but the most important thing we're generating is trust. Look closer at Atlantic Shore's offshore wind, and you'll see that we're generating a clean energy future with a team that values safety, the environment, science, and a commitment to being a good neighbor. Learn more at AtlanticShoresWind.com.
Total Wine and More has your holiday gift. Bourbon for Dad, Cabernet for your sis, champagne for a co-worker, the world's greatest wines. With free curbside pickup, save money and time. Winter liqueurs like peppermint cream turn a festive cocktail into a holiday dream. Now that's a low price you'll shout out with glee when you shop Total Wine for them and for me.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
For 75 years, Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the name you trust where one call does it all. Jenkins expert technicians have been delivering top-notch service to local homeowners. Renovating your kitchen or bath? Call Jenkins. Need a new heating or air conditioning system, service or maintenance, or even ductless air conditioning? Jenkins has you covered. They also specialize in water heaters, boilers, oil service, plumbing and drain cleaning, water line, and sewer main repairs or replacements. Call 609-641-6262 or visit jenkinsandsons.com today.
I got a line.
He got a line.
She got a line. We got 4 lines. Cricket Nation. Q finger guns. Really easy. Super stress-free. 5G so fast. Like blazing fast. Games and memes. You'll have a blast. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. As we discussed, take it from us. We 4 are one. Cricket Nation.
And only $25 a line. Welcome to more lines. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Discount varies by line. Fees may apply. Terms and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Something good to know from First Bank of Sea Isle City. We have all of today's innovative banking products just like the big banks, but we offer something they can't. A personal community focus. Let's get you started with Bill Pay. You save time when you pay your bills online. It's fast, easy, and convenient. First Bank of Sea Isle City. A community bank that delivers more for you every day. Personal service, today's technology, from the people who truly care. Learn more at firstbankseaisle.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, Sports Bash Live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Love it here, man. By the way, I got to thank the people at Mud Hen in Wildwood. That was some show.
What a great setup that was.
You enjoyed it.
Oh my God, they had so spacious. Christmas Village on the outside.
So I was at a wedding on Saturday night. Congratulations to Doug and Leanna, the new Stasics, Dougie and Leanna. I was at the wedding Saturday night.
I saw you on Facebook. You had a nice tie game going.
Strong tie game.
Strong.
You know, I was the only person at the whole wedding, 250 people, that didn't come with a blazer.
Good move.
Sweater.
You went sweater.
Sweater with the buttons.
I like that.
But congratulations to Doug and Leanna. So we're at the wedding, and the people sitting next to us at the table. You know, you go to these weddings, you get at a table, you don't even know people sometimes.
Right.
Well, they were going on and on and on, raving. They had gone Friday night to Mud Hen, and we're going on and on and on about how great the place was. And I said, we just did my show there Wednesday.
They missed out on the Eagles-Steelers tickets.
They did, but they went Friday and said, what a great spot. So if you have not been to Mud Hen, thanks to Mud Hen. Did you try the beer?
I did, and I brought some over to my sister's place on Thursday morning for Thanksgiving.
Little Mud Hen, what'd you get? Wildwood Haze.
Wildwood Haze, yep.
Now, you missed afterwards. Me, Earnshaw, and Rothstein stuck around for a beer.
Yeah.
You fired right out of there.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. We had a huge crowd of people in an awesome room. I got to say, if you have not been there, it was tremendous. I said it's like Bob's Garden World. I mean, it is lights and candy canes and just go. Just check it out. It was an awesome scene. So we thank them for an awesome 99 Growlers party. We'd love to do it there again. We'd love to team up with them another time. But, as always, Monday, our home is right here at Fanatic Sportsbook. And tonight, you got a little Monday Night Football. Yesterday, you had Eagles and the Ravens. What were the grades for that game? Find out next. Scott Grayson has Grayson's grades on the Eagles' win over the Baltimore Ravens, their most impressive win of the 2024 season.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. AFC action coming up with the Cleveland Browns at the red-hot Denver Broncos. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix in Denver looking to improve their record to an impressive 8-5. The confident Browns are coming off a big division win over the Steelers.
Listen to Monday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to book today.
I need a new car. Under 20 grand? Okay, well, what's my trade worth? You know what? I'm going to Matt Blatt Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS, under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999. With any trades, that's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and into your new Kia with zero down, zero payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. So bring any trade, because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, 24 ED9, $13.89 per thousand finance. Not all will qualify. Credit and down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblackpfj.com for complete details, or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Repaying after rebates and incentives to dealer. Expires 12/4/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
The holidays are here at the Home Depot, so let's get to decorating. Find your perfect tree in our huge assortment of shapes, sizes, and styles. Like the easy-to-assemble Jackson Noble fir, with pre-lit branches perfect for styling with all your favorite ornaments. Or the Flock Starry Light Fraser fir, with over 1,900 pre-lit memory wire branches that keep their shape so it's ready right out of the box. Ooh. Find the perfect tree now at the Home Depot.
It's Sage Jewelers' great half-off everything sale going on now.
Sage Jewelers says everything in store is on sale at half off, including their watch collection, Seiko, Citizen, and G-Shock.
That's right, 50% off their finest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, IGI-certified lab-grown diamonds, engagement rings, top designer jewelry collections, and more.
But hurry, the sale won't last long. Sage Jewelers, the real jeweler, Tilton Road, Northfield, open every day until Christmas.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and More. Bottles so delightful, whoa, whoa, whoa. Price so amazingly low, low, low.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly. B21.
Ooh, we got a question. Brian W. asks, it's the holiday season and I'm looking for deals. Is Xfinity having a Black Friday sale?
Well, Brian, our best deals of the year are here. Get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Just ask us how. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price.
So don't wait. Bring home a new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence.
And connect to reliable 5G and Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile.
That's a big deal.
More like a gig deal.
Now through December 3rd, ask how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us with an unlimited Plus line. Plus, get 300 megabit Xfinity internet and an unlimited mobile line together for only $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing or auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Harbor Freight knows tool people like to keep busy. But with our Black Friday sale now through Monday, you'll want to free up some time. We're talking deals like our 5,000-watt generators under $800, 17-foot reach ladders for $99.99, and 40% off Icon Pro socket sets. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 12/2/24 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Why would someone looking for a mortgage at the Jersey Shore take a loan from a company in Detroit or North Carolina or some other far-off place? Online mortgages promise a lot but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him! It's a sack!
Sixers.
Oh, baby!
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort studio, here's Mike Gill.
His approach, his patience in certain moments, and I think his ability to dive in and get the real detail of things so he can better prepare. I know he's very intentional with the time he spends and the situations. And he's had some moments where, he wish he could have done something else. And then he had some moments where we got to help him out as well. And then we got moments where we need to learn from him all. It's all collaborative.
Jalen Hurts after the game talking about the Nick Sirianni growth in this team. How much of a role did Nick Sirianni play in the Eagles' probably most impressive and biggest win of the season? Let's bring in Scott Grayson from Fox 29 for this edition of Grayson's Grades here on the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN, the 3 o'clock hour of the show. It's brought to you by our friends at Autumn Lake Healthcare Center, skilled nursing rehabilitation with elite level care in a warm and vibrant atmosphere. Visit autumnlakehealthcare.com to find a location near you. By the way, they gave away that Brandon Graham autographed football at our show on Wednesday. And Grayson's Grades are brought to you by GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you. Online, gmslaw.com. There he is, Scott Grayson from Fox 29, and of course 97.3 ESPN.com's Grayson's Grades. And you take a look at let's start with the win over Baltimore. Do you categorize that, Scott, as their most impressive win this season?
It's right up there. I mean, I really thought the Rams win was one of their most impressive before yesterday. I think yesterday is probably their most impressive because of the they really had to. It was like a heavyweight boxing fight. They just kept kind of absorbing punches and then throwing punches, then ultimately delivered the knockout blow. And I think that's a big mark of a championship team, really, if you combine these last 2 games. The way that they played both of them, to go on the road in both instances, too, and to win the way they did. I just think this team is really – they're really building towards potentially a special season. Obviously, there's still a lot of football to play and a lot of very important football to come, perhaps in about a month or so, leading up to potentially a trip to New Orleans in February. I just think I really like where this team's going. I like the way they play. I like the way they play in all facets of the game. I even graded the punter yesterday. I thought he played a big role in their success yesterday. And I like the way this team's going. I think it all stems from Nick Sirianni. It's time to give him some credit, and his players are playing for him, which is also a very key mark.
Yeah, you mentioned Nick Sirianni. Let's go there. And the credit that he deserves for this, it seems that he doesn't a lot of people don't know how to quantify what he brings to this team. You gave him an A yesterday, though. A lot of people wondering, man, this team, they don't look prepared. They don't look ready. They're down 9-0. What role do you give Sirianni an A for here?
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said they didn't look prepared or they didn't look ready. I just think they came out and the way I felt like they overthought things. For the first time in a few weeks, I felt like offensively they were overthinking it. They were getting stopped by the Ravens' run defense. They knew the Ravens had a good run defense, and they started to go away from it. And I just think that's what they have done nicely over the last few weeks, is avoid doing that. They haven't gone away from it. They've stuck with it. Saquon didn't have enough carries and touches for me in the first half. So to me, I didn't think they looked prepared or they didn't look ready. I just thought they tried to act like the smartest guy in the room again. And when they do that, they get into trouble. And they had trouble getting first downs. They had trouble moving the ball. But what was good to see was, again, they got in the locker room and they made some adjustments. They were able to make adjustments in the second quarter as well and start finding a rhythm. And so I think that's a big difference when you look at the things that happened last year and the way that they fell apart versus this year. They're much better coached on both sides of the ball. They don't panic. This team doesn't panic. They got down 9-0. I didn't see panic. I saw a team that still believed they were going to be fine, and I think that's because they know that their bread and butter is the second half. And if they can just get to halftime with this game close, this team is so confident they're going to come out and out-physical you in the second half and wear you down to the point that they will win the game, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, and let's stick with that for a second. Can they keep coming out being down 9-0 and saying, well, that's the formula? How long can that formula? Yeah, I mean, they've won 8 in a row and give them a lot of credit, but you're playing Detroit, you're playing Green Bay, you're playing Minnesota. Can you be down 9-0 and say, hey, yeah, keep calm?
Yeah, I'm not saying I would recommend it, but, and it is a little aggravating the way that they come out in the first quarter all the time. But I think if you had to ask yourself, would you rather have a team that started fast and finished slow, or a team that maybe started a little slow and came out guns a-blazing throughout the last 2.5 to 3 quarters? I would rather that. I would rather that team that is going to come along. And that's where I think that the defense is underrated. I mean, what this defense does to keep this team in the game in the first quarter, first half, to allow the offense then to figure out what the opponent is doing and then capitalize on it, I mean, that's not nothing. I think that is a huge deal. The way this defense allows the offense the time it needs to dissect the opponent, to analyze it, to figure it out, to wear them down. I think that's a big reason why this 1-2 punch works. I think the defense is what initially allows this team to stay in the game, and the offense then is what puts it away and allows the defense then to come at you in the final couple minutes, and really punch you in the mouth one last time. And that's what's working for them. Now, I'm not recommending going down 9-0, but I don't think anybody here panics when they do. And I think they can go down 9-0 to a Detroit, a Minnesota, a Green Bay, and have the confidence, which is what you need, to not panic and to stay right there and be ready to come back in the game the way that this team can. And they're doing this without Devontae Smith, keep in mind. And they're missing some pieces over there. And that's a big one to miss in a game like that.
Oh, I think the Smith one is definitely underrated. About their offense when they don't have one of those two outside weapons, how different it is, and for them to be able to persevere. You gave obviously Saquon Barkley. You can give him all the praise. He's done everything. Most consecutive fourth quarters with 50 yards rushing and a touchdown since 1979. He has become the closer. But the Eagles have had some backs here the last couple of years who have put up numbers, but aren't this guy. How are they using Barkley differently than the guys? Swift had over 1,000 yards. Miles Sanders had over 1,200 yards. Why is this so different?
The difference is, and one thing I haven't been saying that I used to say for years on your show, Mike, was give him the ball, give him the touches, let him have the 20 to 25 touches. We kept saying that. I kept saying that about Miles Sanders, about DeAndre Swift. Like, you got to let these guys have the opportunity to break one. And that all starts by the 0, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5-yard gains. Ultimately, that leads to a home run. And in the past, this team just didn't do that. They didn't feed the volume with those guys. And I think a lot of that has to do with the nature of the league. I mean, I loved that yesterday was a good old school, old-fashioned, run-the-ball kind of game for both teams. I mean, you don't see that kind of game around the league very often anymore, where the two running backs are dictating whether that game was going to go well or not. And I just thought that the Eagles did a good job of sticking with it in the second half. That's where I was frustrated in the first half. And the difference to me with this guy is they have the confidence to give it to him 20 to 25 times a game and trust that he's going to ultimately lead them where they want to go. And that's exactly what he did yesterday.
Yeah, he's carried this team. He had 107 yards and a touchdown, but 63 of those yards came in the fourth quarter. And, it's late in that game when they just need that big play, and he busts one for 26 yards, and he gets there. And it seems that, the difference really becomes, Scott, is I don't know if they just didn't trust or see a Miles Sanders or a DeAndre Swift as a closer or a guy that they can trust. And they are willing. The difference for me is you had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They valued them more than they did the running back. And it's crazy to say, I think they value Barkley more than they do Brown and Smith. And that's high praise.
Oh, there's no doubt. And when you're looking at a guy who could win the first MVP award for this franchise ever, that tells you just how special he is and how much he means. I mean, they do count on him, especially in the second half, to, as you said, be the closer, really help finish it off. And I saw an A.J. Brown after the game yesterday talking to the media with a smile on his face. He said he went up to Saquon and told him it's time to put the cape on. And this is a guy who's been criticized in the past for looking like he's gotten upset because he's not getting the ball enough. Look, he played a role yesterday, a big role, A.J. Brown did. But ultimately, that guy is willing to go and say, you need to wear the cape and be the guy who takes us where we need to go in this game. Time to do it. And he did. And I just think that's a quality of this team that is another championship quality. These guys are playing for each other. They cheer on each other on both sides of the ball. The unity is there. The chemistry is there. It really is reminiscent of 2018, the 2017 team and the 2022 team that both went to the Super Bowl. And of course, the 2017 team won it. I think this team has a lot of those qualities. And I am starting to believe that this team is better than the 22 team that went to the Super Bowl. And I can see this team potentially even being better than the 2017 team that won it.
Wow. Obviously there's a lot there that we can dive in. But let's look at some of the grades from yesterday. We're going to stay on the offensive side of the ball. Nick Sirianni, obviously, as the head coach, we talked a little bit about him. Barkley gets a lot of the accolades in the game there. But when you take a look at on the offensive side of the ball, Jalen Hurts B, and I'm interested to get your take on him because what I liked about Hurts yesterday, now the numbers not crazy. He only threw the ball 19 times, I think 118 yards in the game. But what I liked about Hurts yesterday was when they're down 9-0, he didn't force try to get a 9-point touchdown. He just kind of took what was there, the little slip out to Goddard. I love that decision. I thought he made some good decisions, safer decisions. He didn't try to do too much, and that's what I was impressed about. Now, the frustrating part is, where's the Jalen Hurts from 2 years ago that you and I saw? Man, I don't even remember where we were at the Super Bowl. Where were we? Arizona. What happened to that guy? I don't know if that guy's back, not there. Are they hiding him? But I thought he didn't try to force the situation when they were down 9-0 yesterday.
No, frankly, I kind of expected that they might try one or two more deep balls at some point during the game because that is something that he and A.J. Brown are doing really well this year. And that didn't happen. But my feeling on Jalen Hurts is, especially early in the game, he is tentative. I don't think he trusts what he's seeing yet. And so he's holding the ball a little bit. He's hesitant to run in the first half. Have you noticed that? In the second half, he tends to use his legs a little bit more. And there are escape routes through that pocket that I think he can find earlier if he just didn't hold the ball as long. I admire the fact he's trying to stay back there and throw it, but he's got to find the happy medium to know the right time to get out of there, to extend a play, to be able to throw it away. There's a lot of times I feel like he should throw it away and he doesn't. But that being said, the number one thing he has to do is not turn it over. And that's what he's doing during this stretch. He's had a very few turnovers during this stretch, this winning streak. And to me, that's if he doesn't turn it over, and I know Nick got upset when he was called a game manager in the post-game press conference yesterday. And I think being labeled a game manager is a little much. Like, he still does have to make some plays, and he does make some really good throws down the field. Like you said, if he hesitates at all on that pass to Dallas Goedert, it's not a touchdown. He gets too close to the sideline. He gets pushed out of bounds. A defender comes up and makes it a minimal gain. He got rid of that ball in a hurry, and it got to Goddard, and Goddard was able to make a play. There's a lot of things Jalen is doing well that I think a lot of people around here look back at 22 and they're like, he's not doing that. Okay, that was a very high level. He was almost the MVP that year. that's a very high level to be playing at. And to ask him to be back there again, yeah, you want that. They're paying him to kind of get there, but he's doing what this team needs him to do to win. And I think right now everybody should just sit back and say, just keep doing that. Keep doing that. I'd like to see him in the first half, maybe use his legs just a little more, use that RPO, keep it occasionally instead of giving it to Saquon when he got dropped yesterday. But that was also a very good run defense, the likes of which they're probably not going to face very much against in the next, the rest of the regular season.
No, I definitely think that's the top run defense that they'll see this year. And look, it's funny, they put the graphic up on the screen. CBS did yesterday. Oh, this battle of the backs. It was supposed to be, and they both had over 4 yards a carry. But you're almost like, it's been disappointing. And yet Barkley nailed you late in the game, and that's kind of been, in the back pocket the whole time is that one big run. We got it still kind of waiting for us there. And, you take a look at the fourth quarter's 50 yards and a rushing touchdown, most consecutive games. Barkley's done it 3 games in a row, though. The only other guys, Terrell Davis, and Barry Sanders. So that's the level. Barry Sanders is the other guy, man. So when you're on the level with TD and Barry Sanders, that's a different story of what kind of running back you're getting. All right, let's look at the defense now, all right? I was wondering, what they were going to look like against Lamar Jackson. I thought the pressure that they put on Jackson in this game really flustered him. He made some bad throws. He looked like the timing was off. Yeah, he made a couple superhuman plays like he normally does. But I was really impressed with the pressure they got on him, and I thought they really bothered him yesterday.
They did, and I think the key was these guys pretty much, I wondered how would they do, a guy like that, a quarterback like that, you have to really be disciplined and stay home. You can't escape or evade evacuate your area on the field when you're trying to play a zone or things like that. And I thought these linebackers deserved a lot of credit. I thought they played well. They did get pressure on Lamar early in the game. He was able to extend plays a lot and do what he did to get, a 40-yard pass downfield to Zay Flowers. He made some plays. And I think the thing that the Eagles did well was they went into that game saying, listen, look, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are going to make some plays. They're superstars, but they can't make the big chunk plays and they can't make them frequently. And if we make them have to methodically go up and down the field, eventually I think we'll keep them out of the end zone. And that's what they did. Yes, Justin Tucker certainly helped by missing a lot of field goals, 2 field goals and an extra point. Those 7 points left off the board were big, but the Eagles forced them into those longer field goals with sacks, with stops. And that wasn't nothing. And I just think this defense plays so well together. What I was really watching, Mike, was what were they going to do with all the snaps that Brandon Graham had been getting? And Jalex Hunt performed well. Nolan Smith is using his speed to get upfield. I need to see him develop a little bit of a move that gets him underneath a pass rush a little bit. But, man, there's time to develop that and keep working on it. I like where he's at. You have these guys filling in nicely. And Jalen Carter, I mean, oh, my God, has this guy come into his own. I just think, on the one really long run play, if the game was close, they would have had to have thrown a holding penalty. He was held, and they didn't throw the flag. Jalen Carter, to me, is the guy who gets everything going on this defense and allows everybody else to make plays. He needs to be accounted for. He is quickly becoming the Fletcher Cox of this era of defensive line on the Eagles, after Cox is retired. I love what he's doing. I love, Jordan Davis. I didn't grade him yesterday, but I think he deserves credit for helping to stop Derrick Henry in that run. When he was in there, they didn't get a lot of great plays against him. I just love the way this defense is playing. Vic Fangio is sort of the Wizard of Oz. I mean, he seems to be dialing up a lot of good stuff that's confusing guys. And when they need it in the second half, they are shutting down opponents. And I think it's really great to see.
Well, let's get into the 2 guys because for years you and I have done the grades, and there's been Fs given out at the linebacker position. You gave 2 As to linebackers, and Zach Bond, 13 tackles, Nakobe Dean, 10 tackles. What are they doing to make this defense different and work?
They can move. They are very athletic. And the more you watch them, that's what I see. They're also very smart. They're intelligent guys who seem to be able to dissect a play before it's happening and as it's happening to know where to go. They play well together. And Nakobe Dean is, I think, 6 tackles away from 100. Zach Bond's already over 100. So you've got 2 linebackers that are going to be over 100 tackles. I don't know when we've been able to say that around here or the last time. That's something worth researching, and I should have done that before he came on. But that's how well these guys are playing, and they are guys that Vic Fangio is counting on. And I think when Devin White didn't get a starting job, and we all looked around and went, I guess Dean and Bond are playing really well in camp, and you can see now why Devin White had no place here. These two guys are playing extremely well. They're playing great together. They tackle well. They're always around the ball. And this defensive line understands that their job is to help open up some holes for them to go through and help stop these plays, these run plays. And Bond does a great job. They singled him out yesterday on a blitz where he avoided the offensive lineman and made him whiff and got a sack on the play. I mean, these are all big plays that these guys are making. I think these linebackers, Jalen Carter drives the bus up front. These linebackers, I think, really are kind of the heart and soul of this defense to really allow everyone else to make plays at times too.
Yeah, I know the linebacking is a big thing in Philadelphia, as the Eagles kind of acknowledged. And you take a look at Bond and Dean, 23 tackles between the two of them. But two other guys that graded out well yesterday, Cooper DeJean. He had the big tackle against Jamar Chase in the Bengal game, and that hit yesterday, picking up and driving Derrick Henry to the ground. He basically, that was late in the game, but that game was still a game. And he said, look, we are still here. We are not going away. The fact that Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, what they have added to this defense, you gave Cooper an A. Mitchell, of course, no one throws his way hardly, so it's tough for him to even get graded. But Cooper, I think Vaughn and DeJean's ability to tackle have changed the complexion of this defense from where they were when DeJean was out pre-injury to when they inserted him into the lineup.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that tackle on Derrick Henry is going to be used at every level of football to show what a form textbook tackle looks like on a guy who is bigger than you, stronger than you, and is expected to win that battle every time. The way the Eagles sideline erupted shows you just how much that tackle meant to them. The support that they had, they were cheering, they were jumping up and down for Cooper DeJean making that play. Listen, man, they got a steal in the second round. I think everybody kind of thought that a little bit when they got him, and now that they see him, it was a shame that he wasn't healthy to start the season, or who knows where he'd be even more further developed at this point. But yeah, I love watching him play. The kid plays with a lot of heart and confidence. You talk to him behind the scenes, and he is cool, calm, and collected. Reed Blankenship has been the guy that's taken him under his wing and really helped to kind of mentor him. Darius Slay is also working with him, as he is Quinyon Mitchell. Look, I think those guys came into a good situation, a great situation, with some good veteran mentors and a great defensive coordinator. They're learning at a high level. Their learning curve is insane. They're not rookies anymore the way they play. And they are such a big part of that secondary. You're right. I mean, nobody's really throwing Quinyon Mitchell's way anymore. And to talk about the ultimate compliment, right? I mean, he is doing great. He's come a long way. And I just think these two guys really are going to play a big role as this team tries to make a run towards the Super Bowl.
It was a impressive win defensively yesterday to shut down that Baltimore offense, and, of course, offensively to stick with it, be patient, run the ball against a Ravens run defense that won't allow you to run on it. They found a way to do it yesterday, and the Eagles get to 10-2. They'll play Carolina on Sunday. Carolina's actually playing a little better. They've been feisty the last couple of weeks here. They almost pulled out a win yesterday. They almost pulled out a win against Kansas City last week. So it's not going to be a walk in the park against them. Look, like it seemed like it, but they play Carolina. Their schedule, one of the more easy schedules remaining in the league. That number one seed seems to be in play.
I think so. I think when you look at the Lions' schedule and you put it up side by side to the Eagles, if the Eagles do their job and take care of business, which I think at this point, other than the Steelers game is the toughest game left by far. So they have to come out. They have to play well against Carolina. And you're right. I'm glad you pointed it out. Carolina has been playing very well the last few weeks. They have played some inspired football, and they're not going to come in here and roll over. They are going to come out. And this is where I think, we'll see Nick have these guys ready to play and focused all week long. He's going to make sure they understand that this is not Carolina is better than their record indicates at right now, the way they're playing. So they should be ready to go. But the Lions' schedule, I mean, even Thursday night against the Packers, I could see them possibly losing that game. The Lions have been getting banged up. They've had to suffer some key injuries lately as well. So I think that number 1 seed is not only in play, it's very attainable, which then you're talking about a first-round bye. You're telling me you're going to give Saquon Barkley a week of rest and that offensive line a week of rest and that defensive line a week of rest to go in and have to win 2 playoff games to get to a Super Bowl? Sign me up for that, the way this team's playing. I love it. I think they've got a great shot to do that. Of course, they're going to be more focused on locking up that division first, but they've got a 3-game lead for that 2 seed as well, Mike. I think we're talking about just a couple weeks away from locking that up at the very least, as well as the division title and seeing where it goes. But I think the Lions are going to stumble down the stretch, and I do think the Eagles will ultimately get that number 1 seed.
Keep in mind, Scott, the Lions continue to lose guys on defense. You don't wish injuries, but can they persevere? The Eagles had some injuries. They played without Smith this week. Obviously, that's a big loss. Brandon Graham going down. They had Blankenship go out yesterday in the middle of that game, later on in the game. But both these teams, war of attrition. Who can hold on to the end? And by the way, you're talking about a possible – it looks like the Eagles at worst, unless this season goes the way last season did, falls apart, probably at worst a 2 seed and possibly now in play for the number 1 seed in the NFC. And that reminds me, as Scott Grayson reminded me, we have to book our trip to New Orleans for Radio Row. I'll get on that tonight there, buddy, all right?
Yeah, come on now.
All right, man. Scott Grayson's grades are posted after every Eagles game over at 97.3 ESPN.com, and he joins us for the latest edition of Grayson's Grades. Fox 29, Scott, we'll see you on the boob tube and back here on the radio. Thanks, man.
All right, you got it, Mike. Thank you.
All right, there's Scott Grayson from Fox 29 and, of course, longtime writer for Grayson's Grades at 97.3 ESPN.com. Basically, A's across the board in this season, this 8-game win streak. Professor Grayson has been giving out A's left and right. He gave a interesting grade to Jalix Hunt. He gave him a B, but he made the grades. I thought Jalix Hunt was awesome yesterday. Maybe not consistently throughout the day, but can Jalix Hunt be a difference maker for this team? Hey, when we come back, I got all your text messages have been lining up throughout the day. We're going to filter through the best ones of the day. Your chance to get involved right now on the text board, 609-403-0973. This hour of the Sports Bash, it's brought to you by our friends at Autumn Lake Healthcare Center, skilled nursing rehabilitation with elite-level care in a warm and vibrant atmosphere. Visit autumnlakehealthcare.com to find a location near you. Grayson's Grades brought to you by GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations online at gmslaw.com. When we come back, your text messages here on the Sports Bash.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small. Can't wake up without it. Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Hey, AI, how many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
The Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
Hey, AI, I had a fall recently. I need to recover. Please help me walk again.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older and I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care, but here's what I found for the best care near you.
Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, trusted leaders in skilled nursing rehabilitation and senior care, and proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free world-famous pancake combos from IHOP, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and More. Bottles so delightful, whoa, whoa, whoa. Price so amazingly low.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Let's face it, winter can be a hard season. It's cold pretty much all the time. Blizzard. You have to shovel. Another blizzard. You slip on ice. But you know what makes winter suck a little less? Getting a free phone. Join Cricket Nation and get a free Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. Ouch. Welcome to enjoying more. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must open a new line on the $60 unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Wrap up your workday with the all-new Chickies and Pete's Happy Hour with unbeatable specials weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy half-price orders of Chickies medium tender wings, one of our tasty and delicious pizzas, or an order of mouth-watering hot, cold, or fried shrimp, plus $3 domestic bottled beers, $5 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. It's the all-new Happy Hour, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m., only at Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Now, for a limited time, it's buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Buy one, get one free, and enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat. Pair it with one of our handcrafted cocktails like the Stoli Vanilla Creamsicle or the Bourbon Peach Sweet Tea. Top it off with Chickie and Pete's world famous crab fries. Buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply only at Chickies and Pete's.
The holidays are here at the Home Depot. If you're working on getting ready for company,
A lot of company.
make sure you're ready with Black Friday savings. Get up to 40% off select appliances, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select kitchen appliances. Upgrade your kitchen with top brands like GE Profile and get sleek cutting-edge appliances to make sure you
Got hosting handled.
Yeah, you do. Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances this holiday at the Home Depot. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Shop Dell Technologies Cyber Monday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Cyber Monday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Never thought this radio stunt would catch on so big.
On 97.3 ESPN.
333 Sports Bash live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. They got that Jingle Bell bar open over there, Peachy. Have you seen it yet?
No.
The holiday pop-up right across from us there.
I might have to take a gander.
It's a nice spot. Come out for the little holidays, got a little Christmas theme. Next commercial break, why don't you take a little walk over there?
It means I got to get up out of my chair. All right.
My bad. All right, by the way, Flyers, a little OT winner from Michkov.
I saw that. Saw those highlights.
Now, Michkov gets it. Did you see the video after the game?
No.
So I guess they give away like a WWE belt to the player of the game. Josh, have you seen this?
Yeah.
So I guess Fedotov must have won it the last time.
Correct.
So he's the guy who has it.
Right.
And then he gives it to
Michkov.
Does he pick the
I
player
would
of the
say
game?
I think he picked
I think
the
the players vote. I think the way it works is the players vote for the player of the game, and then the guy with the previous holder hands it to the next guy.
All right, so you got Fedotov. He brings it over to Michkov, who had the overtime winner. Now, Michkov says, good game, but I cannot accept this belt. He says Kozlov is actually the best player on the team tonight. And he says, I walk this belt to him. Michkov gets it. 19 years old.
That's like Saquon Barkley.
He's a professional, 19 years old, NHL. He's being told, here, you're the champion. And he says, I cannot accept this honor. I must give it to my teammate.
Sounds like he needs to hang out with Joel Embiid.
Yes, Saquon and Michkov.
That was the point of the Olympics.
Right.
He obviously didn't learn from it.
Didn't take.
Didn't
All right,
absorb.
Text board has been hopping today, Josh.
Yes, it has.
609-403-0973. I like a good hopping text board. Give us a lot of your text messages. Let us know what you think. If you're listening on the free mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle, you can hit us on the app over there. I did see a couple app ones. I want to read off Brandon and Kate May. He said, number one, defense is legit. Two, I think what is getting lost is this defense forced 3 fumbles, and the Ravens had the ball luckily bounce right back to them. If not, the game could have been even bigger. Yeah, somebody talked earlier about how the Eagles had all this luck. They didn't get the luck of those bounces because you're right. They did force a couple turnovers, and they bounced. Lamar had a fumble that they recovered. There was another fumble somewhere else. That
Saquon had a fumble that bounced right to him.
Ravens also had multiple drop passes in the game.
Well,
Nelson Aguilar had 2. Likely had 1. Mark Andrews had 1.
Well, and quite frankly, Lamar Jackson, a couple guys open, he just missed them. He didn't have a great game yesterday.
No, but sometimes you need that to happen for you to have a good season.
Well, I think the Eagles pressured him and made him rush a little bit.
They did.
Yeah. All right, what do we got?
All right, so I want to start with, we promised we would get to this text, so I want to, without further ado, Todd from Brigantine has arrived, Mike. He has entered the chat, and he says, Mike, it looks like I may have undervalued the draft picks in the Eagles secondary. They have hit with both of them. I was obviously way wrong with my thought of only 7 wins. The Eagles look good, but I still see Detroit as the best team in the NFC, Todd and Brigantine.
Well, listen, Todd, I mean, it's admirable that you've acknowledged that you were off base, but I think your reasoning is a little off base. Just because they drafted Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, like you're not going to say, hey, by the way, I overvalued what Saquon Barkley possibly being the MVP of the league brought to this team. I mean, that's asinine.
So you're not satisfied with that response?
Well, I mean, it's almost like him saying begrudgingly, I have to admit I was wrong, by then throwing in there, well, I also think Detroit's the best team in the league. Now, I think Detroit and Philly are 1 and 1B. I don't even say 1A. I think Detroit's better than Philly, but are they going to be able to hold up the injuries?
Detroit has right now 8 of their front 7 players injured on defense.
Yeah, their defense is really starting to break down a little bit. Okay, so what I would say is admirable that you acknowledge that you were off base. Your reasoning, poor. And then to throw in the whole thing, just say, you know what, I've been so off base, I'm not even going to offer anything more.
Dan,
by the way,
yeah.
What was it a couple weeks ago? I can't see any scenario in which they win this game.
It was ironic as Todd and Brigantine, Mike, said they would only win 7 games this year. The Eagles are on an 8-game winning streak. I mean, he could have just left it there.
That was the Commanders game.
Right there. You
He
say,
didn't
listen.
see any scenario in which they beat the Commanders.
I was off base, and I'm no longer offering any opinion on this season because I was so bad with my initial opinion. And that would have been admirable. This one seemed like a flimsy way just to get your name out there yet again.
Dan from EHC chimes in the text board. Mike says, Jalen Carter is a game changer. He is doing Aaron Donald type stuff. He is a man among boys. Eagles are probably going to have the offensive and defensive players of the year with Barkley and Carter. That's from Dan and EHT.
I will say this, Dan and EHT. They need him to be a game record. It's something that this team kind of lacks is the identity of the defense. Who is it? Who is the star of the defense? They got a lot of guys who are good, but they need a great player on defense. You look at Kansas City, they have Chris Jones. You look at the Rams when they won a Super Bowl, they had Aaron Donald. Who's that guy for the Eagles? And it hopefully grows into Jalen Carter, and hopefully it grows sooner than maybe, look, he was really good last year, but he kind of sputtered down the stretch. Hopefully the consistency of Jalen Carter stays there, because if you get a consistent Jalen Carter, you got a different level of defense.
I mean, he has made an impact in almost every one of these 8 games in the winning streak here.
Yeah, the consistency's been there.
Jim,
but keep in mind, he was good for about 10 weeks last year.
Well, that was the first 10 weeks.
Yep,
so now we're at week 13. He's still impacting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good sign.
By the way, Nick Sirianni just said they're gathering information on Dallas Goedert's injury. So a possible another injury. I did not know Goddard got hurt yesterday.
His knee got hurt in the game yesterday.
They did not report that. Did I miss that during the game?
You might have missed it. I mean, it was kind of like hush-hush by the end of the game because the report was that they were going to reevaluate him today.
Okay. Well, Sirianni just was asked about it in the presser, and that's the update.
That's more information Sirianni usually gives you.
Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Jim in Williamstown says, it was a good win by the Eagles, but he says, I still worry that if the Eagles get locked up with Buffalo in the Super Bowl and roll out with a slow start, they will not be able to come back. He says, also, Cooper DeJean, all-time classic tackle on Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're talking about if you make it to the Super Bowl, it's all hands on deck at that point. I don't want to go that far down the road and see, hey, can they get behind Buffalo? The question is, have they surpassed or caught Detroit?
I think they're right there with them.
Well, the injuries to Detroit, I think, have closed the gap a little bit. I mean, quite frankly, Chicago could have won that game if their coach didn't have his head firmly jammed up his you-know-what. And he got himself fired.
We haven't even talked about that. I mean, that was just
He was so bad that he got himself fired after he had a press conference on Friday.
I mean, I've never seen a coach hold so tightly to his end game strategy, not even relenting even a little bit.
Williams could have called timeout. I mean, it's not 100% on Eberflus, but
I agree.
It is, but Williams could have called timeout.
I mean, there's 10 coaches. Guys, there's 10 coaches on the sideline. There's 11 players in the field. Nobody for a moment on the entire organization thought to call a timeout.
The whole thing was poorly managed, and it combusted with the coach standing there as his quarterback is taking his good old time.
Yeah,
I mean, he got fired.
Jalen Hurts would have called timeout. Derek Carr would have called timeout. I mean, you name them.
But the Lions looked vulnerable in that game.
They did.
On Thursday. And they're going to play this Thursday night again, by the way.
Against the Packers, by the way.
So
Terry and Galloway Mike chimes in. He says the Eagles have the easiest remaining schedule. The Lions have the hardest. Wouldn't it be grand to have a Detroit in Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game?
That would be great, number one. Number two, I believe the Eagles have the third easiest and the Lions have the third most difficult, but point well taken. The Eagles play Carolina this week.
Then they play the Steelers.
Why Detroit plays against Green Bay, so that's a very tough game for Detroit.
At home, at Detroit.
Yeah, they already played at Green Bay earlier this year.
Yep, that's a difference. Let's see. I had the schedules up in front of me, a link to them.
It is a big difference. I mean, if you get Detroit in Philly out of the dome.
Here you go.
In January.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Look at that game last night. Look at that game last night.
Right.
San Francisco was not competitive. Panthers, Packers this week. Eagles play Panthers. The Lions play the Packers. Next week, it's Steelers, and they play the Bills. So that's a week where both teams could lose.
Right.
You got at Commanders, at Bears. Eagles are at Commanders. Lions are at Bears. Eagles play the Cowboys. The Lions are at the 49ers. And then the last week of the year, the Eagles play the Giants, and the Lions play the Vikings. The records of the two teams, Philadelphia's is 27-34 for a 443 winning percentage. The Lions is 37-21 for a 638 winning percentage. So they clearly have the more challenging schedule the rest of the way.
Now, where do the tiebreakers match up? They both finish, let's say, 15-2, and they win out, both of them. Or Detroit loses one, Philly wins out.
Well, they both lost to Tampa.
Right.
So
Well,
they have a common opponent there.
But the top thing is, what is your conference
record?
Correct. So right now, if you go by as of this second, Eagles are 6-2 in the conference. Detroit is 7-1. So technically, the Eagles need Detroit to lose somewhere against NFC competition coming up.
Okay, so if Detroit loses to Buffalo,
Doesn't count.
Okay. Gotcha.
No, it doesn't count, but it would at least get you tied
right
with the record. You need to at least catch them there, and then the tiebreakers would come into play. Right now, the tiebreakers aren't even in play because they're a game ahead of you.
But again, if you lose to Buffalo, the Detroit still has a 7-1 conference record. So you need them to lose one more time down the stretch.
Yeah, you're going to need to have them lose
twice,
unless they lost. I don't know if there's a game on the NFC. Like if they lost to Green Bay, Philly beat Green Bay because you might get into common opponent if they tie for the division conference.
But if they tie for the conference record, then it goes to the other tiebreakers.
Yeah, I don't know what is it common opponent is like the next one.
I got to pull up the tiebreakers.
Yeah, because there's no head-to-head.
That time of year for me to pull up that old NFL rules doc.
Yeah, because the conference, they're 7-1 and you're 6-2. So if they lost to Green Bay, now they would have two losses in the conference. One of their losses would be to a team that you beat. Now Philly's other loss, they lost to
Tampa,
Atlanta, and I believe Detroit beat Atlanta. I would imagine they did because they only lost one game, and it was to Tampa.
Yeah, Detroit lost to the Bucks. They did not lose to Atlanta.
Right. So it's going to be close. I mean, so that's where right now you got 5 games left. You're hoping that they drop at least 2.
Let's get a couple more texts in here, Mike.
Real quick, I don't see 2 more losses on their schedule.
On Detroit's?
Yeah, Buffalo, and that's about it.
Well, Green Bay. Minnesota. I mean, they play Green Bay and Minnesota. Those are losable games. So is San Francisco. I know San Francisco's been a disaster, but you got to hope that San Francisco stays in play for that West division.
And that game is in San Francisco.
Yes.
They're
a mess right now, that team.
Yeah, but they could figure it out real quick for one game. They're still dangerous.
It's a team that I don't want to get stuck playing when I have something big to play for. Put it that way.
That's a good point. I want to get to Mike in Dover. He says, I still don't like the way the Eagles are scripting the start of these games. Another first quarter, another dud. Though 12 games, our first 2 drives have been not good. There's no way we are planning anything well, and that scares me at the beginning of these games. Otherwise, we look good. That's from Mike and Dover.
Well, yeah, and listen, I think the offense is frustrating early, and it's a valid point. Can the defense keep them in the game? That's been the recipe, though. Yes, the offense has been a issue, but the defense has been good enough to keep the games 9-0 yesterday. Defense kept them in that game.
Maybe Kellen Moore is just a slow starter with his play calling. Maybe it's just.
I'm telling you, I think Kellen Moore hits the snooze button.
We all do.
He's a late riser.
Yeah.
I wish I could get to my snooze button.
Like McGarry was earlier, yeah.
My problem is I can't even make it to the snooze button. I'm getting up before the alarm goes off. I like to hit that snooze if I could. Damn it. Sports Bash live, Fanatic Sportsbook. This hour of the show brought to you by Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, skilled nursing rehabilitation with elite-level care and a warm and vibrant atmosphere. Visit autumnlakehealthcare.com to find a location near you. We got more to go, including Football at 4 with Jeff Mosher coming up in 13 minutes.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Maxey steps back, three-point shot up. It's good. Maxey delivering. The Sixers take the lead, and the crowd is absolutely stunned.
It's Sixers Hornet tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Why would someone looking for a mortgage at the Jersey Shore take a loan from a company in Detroit or North Carolina or some other far-off place? Online mortgages promise a lot but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Wrap up your holiday at JCPenney's Friends and Family Sale. This week, use your extra 30% off coupon to finish your list in style. Get dressy apparel and outerwear for the fam, now up to 40% off. Plus, save up to 50% off at our home sale and bring the festive and cozy home for the holidays. It's more gifts, bigger savings for all. JCPenney, make it count. Offers and coupon valid on select styles 12/4 to 12/8. Some exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
I need a new car. Under 20 grand? Okay, well, what's my trade worth? You know what? I'm going to Matt Blatt Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS, under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999. With any trade, that's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and into your new Kia with 0 down, 0 payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. So bring any trade, because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, 24 ED9, 1389 per thousand finance. Not all will qualify. Credit and down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblackkia.com for complete details. Or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Repaying and rebates and incentives to dealer. Expires 12/4/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township. And on Route 37 in Toms River.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and more. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Price so amazingly low.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The holidays are here at the Home Depot. If you're working on getting ready for company,
A lot of company.
make sure you're ready with Black Friday savings. Get up to 40% off select appliances, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select kitchen appliances. Upgrade your kitchen with top brands like GE Profile and get sleek cutting-edge appliances to make sure you
Got hosting handled.
Yeah, you do. Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances this holiday at the Home Depot. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill
Do I have everybody's attention now?
on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Fanatic Sportsbook at the Gallery Bar booking games in Atlantic City. So common opponents is the third. The Rams, the Lions have played the Rams, the Bucks, Dallas, Green Bay, Jacksonville. Those 5 teams would be common opponents. They play Green Bay one more time. They obviously beat everybody except for Tampa. So the common opponent thing, you're going to need a loss to Green Bay here, although they would go 1-1 against Green Bay because they beat Green Bay earlier in the season. Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN. Let's see who gets the credit, and that, of course, is brought to you by our friends at the Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Make the switch and bank with your only community credit union, Jersey Shore. .org. Who gets the credit? Who you got?
I'm going to kind of go by committee. Can I do a little committee thing here? Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, throw Jordan Davis in there. All the guys that stepped up and filled in for BG. Hope they keep it up.
Josh, who you giving credit?
Vic Fangio. He did it again, Mike. He found a way to beat a good offense.
How about I go outside the box and give it to the punter, Braden Mann. He had a big game.
You could do better than that.
Field position game, man.
That's true.
It was a field position win by the Eagles. We'll go Eagles. The special teams doesn't get enough love. Braden Mann played a big role in the game, and he gets the credit for putting. Hey, they had the ball at the 1 yard line. They had a pin back all day long.
Their special teams was better than Baltimore's
and
special
Baltimore's
teams.
special teams cost them, and that's who gets the credit. Back with football at 4. Coming up next on the Sports Bash.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2024 season this Sunday, hosting the Carolina Panthers.
Looking, he is firing, and it is caught for a touchdown! H.J. Brown!
Pre-game coverage starts at noon with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Hey, AI, how many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
The Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
Hey, AI, I had a fall recently. I need to recover. Please help me walk again.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older and I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care, but here's what I found for the best care near you.
Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, trusted leaders in skilled nursing rehabilitation and senior care, and proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles.
The 90s called. They said the Gordita Supreme is so back in the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's all looking fresh to death with the pillowy 90s Gordita Supreme alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito, double stacked taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and medium drink. All for just $7. It's your wallet's favorite cheesy crunchy combo here for a limited time. Grab yours and relive the decades only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. While supplies last. Contact store for price and participation, which varies. Drinks and food freezes. Tax extra.
At the Home Depot, the holidays have arrived.
And so is all my family. So I'm working on keeping up with the laundry.
The Home Depot is here to help with Black Friday savings up to 40% off select appliances. Spend less time doing laundry with smart, efficient appliances from Samsung. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction.
Perfect. Less laundry time means more family time.
Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances at the Home Depot. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Total Wine and More has your holiday gift. Bourbon for Dad, Cabernet for your sis, champagne for a co-worker, the world's greatest wines. With free curbside pickup, save money and time. Winter liqueurs like peppermint cream turn a festive cocktail into a holiday dream. Now that's a low price you'll shout out with glee when you shop Total Wine for them and for me.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices.
That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I got a line.
He got a line.
She got a line.
We got 4 lines. Cricket Nation. Cue finger guns. Really easy. Super stress-free. 5G so fast. Like blazing fast. Games and memes. You'll have a blast. You can get past 5G across 4 lines. You can get past 5G across 4 lines. As we discuss, take it from us. We 4 are one. Cricket Nation.
And only $25 a line. Welcome to more lines. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G requires compatible devices. Not available everywhere. Discount varies by line. Fees may apply. Terms and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, and even the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. Terms and conditions apply.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. 97.3 ESPN presents the Sports Bash with Mike Gill. It's time for Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast.
Just hungry to bring back another Lombardi to Philly. The fans deserve it. Our team deserves it. Culture begs for it.
Now live, this is Football at 4.
Last year's over. We don't care about last year. We learned what we needed to learn from last year, and what we needed to do off of that. And this year is a different group of guys, a different group. This is a different team that's gelling and meshing on all cylinders right now. But with that being said, you're only as good as your last game. We got a big game coming up this weekend.
Last year is over. We knew what we did wrong. We moved on from it. Have they fixed it? Has everybody out there got enough confidence that 2023 is behind the 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles? Football at 4 is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This hour of the show is brought to you by Jersey Cow, a great place for the family to hang out and eat ice cream. They have 2 locations, Northfield and Brigantine. They're open every day from noon until 10. Ice cream is a year-round thing at Jersey Cow. You just heard Nick Sirianni. He said last year is behind us. Is that a game that last year you would feel confident they would win? Of course not. That's a game that last year they probably would have figured out a way to lose. Of course, they had that streak of games where they won against good teams. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Buffalo Bills. They found ways to win those games. And then late in the year, it was right about this point. In fact, we were at the Fanatics Sportsbook last year when the Eagles fired on that day. It was a Monday that they fired Sean Desai and named Matt Patricia the new defensive coordinator. They were getting ready to play the Seattle Seahawks on a Monday Night Football game, and that is kind of when the season started to have an ominous turn to it. They had that interception late in the game, and the Eagles just could not find ways to win. Well, yesterday it seemed they didn't just find ways to win. They took it to the Baltimore Ravens. They were the aggressor. They were the tougher team. They were the team that said, this is the way the style of this game is going to go. Whether you like it or not, Baltimore, they got pressure. They found ways to get and fluster Lamar Jackson in the game. And while Hurts didn't have a huge game yesterday, they kept Lamar Jackson in check for 237 yards, and it was 34% of the time the Eagles were able to put pressure on Lamar Jackson. It was one of the best defensive efforts of the season for the defense, considering who the opponent was. We're going to get to Jeff Mosher for today's football at 4 in just a second. 609-403-0973. Keep your text messages rolling in, and we'll continue to try to read off some of the text messages. You take a look at what is different about this Eagles team. I talk about the tackling. They have an identity on the defense, too. They're physical up front. They're a physical defense, not only up front, the linebackers. They are a physical team in the secondary. They'll come up and tackle you. They will basically do whatever they can figure out to bring you to the ground. For them to be able to tackle Derrick Henry the way they did yesterday, for them to be able to get him and keep him in check, they took that away from the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. And we talk about the styles and this is the way the game's going to go. Baltimore does not want to have to get away from that, right? When they have to play from behind and throw the ball, the Eagles were saying, hey, listen, we love our secondary. If you want to try to throw the ball up there, you're throwing it into the lion's den. And I thought yesterday the Eagles defense really proved that they are a team that can get pressure, which is a question that we've been asking. Can they get the pressure? And can make plays in the secondary. And they are the two key components in the game when the team is trying to throw the ball against you. Can you get pressure and keep their quarterback off rhythm? And can you make plays in the secondary? And if they catch, can you tackle? And the Eagles defense, I thought, did a great job of doing that yesterday. And that's why they're standing here at 10-2. We talked to you, a lot of people. We asked you on the X platform, at Mike Gill Show. You can vote over there. What impressed you most about the Eagles' win yesterday? Was it the way their defense played, or was it the way their offense played in terms of being patient and holding, out until that big run came? They did not get away from Saquon Barkley. They did not lose patience with the run game, even though it wasn't where they wanted it to be. We'll get to Jeff Mosher and ask him that question. But right now, the votes are coming in. What impressed you the most about the Eagles' win in Baltimore? 91% say it was their defense yesterday, Jeff Mosher. Only 8% are going with the Eagles' offense. It seems, Jeff, that people are starting to buy into the Eagles' defense. Yeah, and I mean, were you surprised? On defense, what were you looking forward to seeing the challenge for their defense in the pregame? Well, I think one of the and one of the things that this team, for them to be a Super Bowl winning level team, you got to have the consistency from up front. Did the pass rush, I don't know, did it erase your doubts about them yesterday? I mean, I think we were all saying, hey, where are they going to get pass rush from against a good team? Have they said, hey, listen, we don't have that elite pass rusher, but we're finding ways to get pass rush week in and week out? You got that right. I mean, and I thought, a couple of the guys that I think under the radar, okay, how are they going to handle Brandon Graham the first week without him? Saw a lot of Jalix Hunt in the game. I thought he played a really good game. I mean, he had some moments. He had like a half a sack, but I thought against the run he held up a little bit. And you saw some other guys, but the first week without Brandon Graham, the worry you have is Brandon Graham is not a stat filler, but he gets pressure. Not a lot of sacks, but he gets pressure. He sets the edge, so he doesn't get a lot of tackles, but he does a job of letting everybody else. And you were wondering, how was that going to play out? And I thought the guys that they used yesterday, and I thought the way that Vic Fangio changed their look up in the defense certainly was a difference in that game as well. Well, and you say finishing. I say the same thing. When I watch this defense, what makes me kind of buy into them for me, Moshe, is they tackle you. You had 23 tackles from your linebackers yesterday. The physicality from Cooper DeJean, the tackle that he made on Jamar Chase, the one that he makes yesterday on Derrick Henry. This team does something that a lot of teams just simply don't. They tackle you, they bring you to the ground, and they are willing to step up and say, look, we'll fight you. We'll try to, if you want to try to out-physical us, like I think Baltimore tried yesterday, and I think Philly won that battle.
that for sure. But based on some historic things that our teams has had, I think that'll be the move that comes down because this was egregious enough to magnify all of the bad things. And we know we don't kind of do these things in a month. That would be the end for the NFL.
The Jalen Carter reported this. I mean, the consistency that he has, but that's the key. If he could stay at this level, last year he played really well for about the first 8 to 10 weeks, and then he kind of fell off in concert with when the defense fell apart. But if he's playing at this level, that sets a tone for everything. That means 3 levels of somebody excelling. Jalen Carter up front that the offensive line has to figure out, double team, triple team sometimes. The linebackers doing their job. And then there's the secondary. I can't you can't give your flowers more to this secondary with Quinyon. Nobody even throws at him anymore. He gets like 2 targets a game his way. Isaiah Rodgers coming in. You didn't hear anything about him. The 2 safeties, Blankenship goes out. You almost get the pick late in the game, which was better that McCollum didn't intercept that ball, but he steps up and makes a play. But you almost the communication in the secondary, I think, is an underrated reason of why they're so good. I'll tell you, the defense, a lot of people wondering, and I'll get your thoughts on it. They did a lot of this against teams that are probably not playoff teams, but are you at the level where you say, I don't have any more questions about this defense? Sure. Yeah, and listen, I think, Detroit, it's a battle of attrition, too, for Detroit and Philly. I mean, Philly, a couple guys, they lose Brandon Graham. They don't play with Devontae Smith yesterday. They lose Reed Blankenship. Now, Detroit's got a couple of more injuries that they've dealt with, but who can make it to the finish line? But you're right, those four teams all seem to be the ones, and maybe you want to throw in a Pittsburgh. Philly will play them next week, not this week. They'll play Carolina, followed by Pittsburgh. But I want to get your thoughts on what the offense did yesterday. They're down 9-0 again, and people keep wondering, can they keep doing this? Can they keep doing this? But what I was impressed with, while they're down, was they stayed patient and didn't try to throw themselves back into the game. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Moshe. It's almost as if you and I had a conversation before the game, because I said the same thing, in that Hurts, he had 19 passes yesterday, 118 yards, and yet I thought he made very patient decisions, and he didn't try to take big shots down the field to get back into the game all in one throw, and a little slip to Goddard. You're right. He made a couple of just underneath stuff that he's been struggling with this year. And some people say, he's the weak spot of the team. The offense, I thought he played the game that they needed him to. He stayed within himself and within the game plan yesterday. But there's plays there, Moshe. There's It's frustrating, though, because the play – I tweeted this out yesterday, and it's been retweeted about 1,000 times. I said that slant to A.J. Brown should be used 5 to 7 times a game. It's there all the time, and it's positive. I mean, he catches it at 5 to 6 yards, and then the first guy's not tackling him. He breaks out of the tackle, and he gets the first down. They used it one other time later on in the game, but that play is there for them whenever they want it. Not having Smith yesterday, I think, obviously limits the pass game, but you saw some of the underneath stuff was there for them yesterday, and it's like, why don't they go to it more? Yep. Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast, InsideTheBirds.com. Well, I got to tell you, Moshe, 10-2. They were in the spot last year. They were 10-2 at this time last year as well, but they had lost the game to get to 10-2. They win this week to get to 10-2 after starting 2-2. So I got to tell you, you better put your credentials in for New Orleans, because that has to be in by the 6th. All right, man. You know what? I didn't even – and it wasn't that I didn't believe. I just haven't thought about it. And Grayson texted me today and said, have you applied for the Super Bowl yet? I was like, oh, damn. But with good reason this time around, because it looks like it is unlike last year at this point when it was starting to slip away. It feels like the arrow is going up and not down. Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast for today's Football at 4. Thanks, buddy. Football at 4, as always, is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Mike Gill. This is the Sports Bash. We're live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. This hour of the show is brought to you by Jersey Cal. Northfield Brigantine has all the fall flavors. They got the peppermint bark flavor there, Peachy. You got to try that out.
Oh, 'tis the season, my friend.
Get involved. They're open every day from noon until 10 p.m. at Northfield and Brigantine. Ice cream's a year-round thing at Jersey Cal. I'm Mike Gill. This is the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN. When we come back, Nick's Nuggets are in the house. Dickie Earnshaw's here. We'll get his Nuggets from the game, key takeaways, and everything that he saw this weekend for the first edition of Nick's Nuggets in the month of December. We've reached that month of December. That's right. And we're taking you all the way to hopefully Super Bowl 59 here on the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Is your home ready for the season? Worried about rooms that just won't stay warm this winter? Call Jenkins Plumbing and Heating today to ask about a new energy-efficient system from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning or a Mitsubishi ductless system. With generous financing options through South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric, plus additional savings through rebates from your local utility companies. Upgrading your system could also help lower your utility bills. Call Jenkins today or visit jenkinsandsons.com.
Shop Dell Technologies Cyber Monday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Cyber Monday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Wrap up your workday with the all-new Chickies and Pete's Happy Hour with unbeatable specials weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy half-price orders of Chickies medium tender wings, one of our tasty and delicious pizzas, or an order of mouth-watering hot, cold, or fried shrimp. Plus $3 domestic bottled beers, $5 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. It's the all-new Happy Hour, weekdays, 4 to 6 p.m., only at Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Now, for a limited time, it's buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Buy one, get one free, and enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat. Pair it with one of our handcrafted cocktails like the Stoli Vanilla Creamsicle or the Bourbon Peach Sweet Tea. Top it off with Chicky and Pete's world famous crab fries. Buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply only at Chickies and Pete's.
At the Home Depot, the holidays have arrived.
And so is all my family. So I'm working on keeping up with the laundry.
The Home Depot is here to help with Black Friday savings up to 40% off select appliances. Spend less time doing laundry with smart, efficient appliances from Samsung, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction.
Perfect. Less laundry time means more family time.
Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances at the Home Depot. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Hey, AI, how many touchdowns did the Eagles score in the 2023 season?
The Eagles scored 49 touchdowns in the 2023 season.
Hey, AI, I had a fall recently. I need to recover. Please help me walk again.
I'm sorry, but that is beyond my capabilities.
Hey, AI, my parents are getting older and I can't care for them by myself. Can you help me care for them?
I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities. AI will never replace care, but here's what I found for the best care near you.
Autumn Lake Healthcare Centers, trusted leaders in skilled nursing rehabilitation and senior care, and proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Guys, it's finally here.
Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list. What? Santa has a list too, you know. And he's a huge salted caramel frosty fan. Probably why he's so jolly all the time. The iconic frosty with a salted caramel twist? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Salted caramel frosty flavored with other natural flavors.
I need a new car. Under 20 grand? Okay, well, what's my trade worth? You know what? I'm going to Matt Blatt Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS, under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999. With any trade, that's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and into your new Kia with zero down, zero payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. So bring any trade, because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a
Matt Blatt Kia. With approved credit, 24 ED9, 1389 per thousand finance. Not all will qualify. Credit and down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblackdfj.com for complete details, or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Repaying and rebates and incentives to dealer. Expires 12/4/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. NFL, the Eagles defeated the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday 24-19, winning their 8th straight game as they improved to 10-2. Saquon Barkley, a 25-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. Jalen Hurts added a 1-yard score, and he also had a touchdown pass to Dallas Goedert. Barkley finishing with 107 yards rushing. Monday Night Football tonight, the Cleveland Browns are in Denver to take on the Broncos. NHL, the Flyers are off until Thursday when they host the Florida Panthers. Philadelphia has won 3 straight games. They beat the St. Louis Blues Saturday 3-2 in overtime. NBA, the Sixers traveling to face the Charlotte Hornets on Tuesday night, coming off a victory Saturday against the Detroit Pistons where they won 111-96. Tyrese Maxey had 28 points, just the 4th win of the season for Philadelphia, but it did stop a 2-game losing skid. And in Major League Baseball, the Mets give starting pitcher Frankie Montas a 2-year deal worth $34 million. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Healthier starts here with Get Covered New Jersey. Get quality, affordable health coverage. 9 in 10 get financial help to lower costs, and many pay $10 a month or less. Enroll at getcovered.nj.gov.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zero. Tomorrow's weather, same story, different day. Skies stay bright, temperatures stay cold, and that goes for tonight, too. We're dipping to around 28 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high only 41. Increasing clouds on Wednesday and turning breezy, high 42. Thursday morning, could see some snow and rain showers around. It's going to be a windy, blustery day, falling from the lower 40s into the 30s. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
Something is happening here. Off the New Jersey coast, a new offshore wind project is generating nearly $2 billion in economic benefits for the state. We're generating thousands of local jobs, but the most important thing we're generating is trust. Look closer at Atlantic Shore's offshore wind, and you'll see that we're generating a clean energy future with a team that values safety, the environment, science, and a commitment to being a good neighbor. Learn more at AtlanticShoresWind.com.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
On 97.3 ESPN.
All right, welcome back. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Time for Nick's Nuggets. Nick Earnshaw is host of the Shift podcast, and he is producer of The Locker Room Weekends. I was just texting the Schweiner.
Oh, how about that? It was a double dose of the Schweiner for me this past weekend. So a little
low there. He's a little low. Is that on my end or his end or what's going on there? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying I did a double dose of the Schweiner this past weekend, so I get a couple days removed from that, which is it's a little nice, I guess.
I was driving around the car, heard this conversation with the great Brian Propa. What day was that?
Yeah, that was Saturday. Brian Proper joined about 11 o'clock on Saturday to talk about his new book. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I heard that good interview. Proper, I have the prop jersey in our studio, which I don't even remember what it looks like anymore, that studio.
Yeah, no, it's right behind you usually, right? Right behind where you're sitting.
Yeah, I got the autographed Brian Propp jersey. It's the 87 Flyers Stanley Cup runner-up team. Brian Propp 26, and it has the entire 87 team autographed on there. I've had that jersey since I was probably like 12 years old.
Oh, my goodness. So it's seen a few days, hasn't it?
Yeah, did Schweiner tell Proper that you got his jersey hanging in the studio?
Well, we did. Well, I think he saw it because he came into the studio like last year or early this year. He came in. So he did see it. He is aware that it is there. So on the interview on Saturday, that was just a call-in. So he knows it's there. When he came into the studio before, he saw it.
Gotcha.
And he liked it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, good job getting him on there. Good interview there. I enjoyed listening to Proper. And, of course, it's time for Nick's Nuggets. They're brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook right here at the Gallery Bar, Book, and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. All right, Earnshaw, what do we got on the Nuggets for today?
Well, I got a 3-pack for you today, and, PG will be happy. No Soto Nuggets today.
There's no Soto news out. Well, there is the Red Sox report.
I mean, we have about 17 minutes. If something wants to happen, we can sneak it in there, Pete, for you. But we're going to start with Saquon Barkley from yesterday, and I want to go Saquon versus Dickerson and the chase for the record this year. And if you look at some of the numbers, right, you break down some of the numbers, heading into the all-time rushing record. Can Saquon get there? And you have to be realistic. So the Eagles have 6 games left, right? He would need about 119 yards per game. That is required for him to get to the record that Eric Dickerson currently holds. So he'd have to play every single game. Now, looking at this at a possible 5-game stretch here, because remember, that Giants game, that last week, that might not mean too much unless they're trying to fight for the number 1 seed with the Detroit Lions. So you may not get that extra game for Saquon Barkley to surpass the record. And we've seen him give up plays and times for younger players to get an opportunity to play. So if he does not play in that final Giant game, he would need to average 179 yards on the ground to break Dickerson's record. If he gets there, Mike, and he beats it, should there be an asterisk next to it? Because they didn't give an asterisk to Dickerson when he broke OJ's, because OJ only played 14 games. Dickerson played 16. Now, if Saquon plays 17, are we putting an asterisk there?
I mean, I don't think they're going to put an asterisk there, but I think that people will definitely say, now, did he get it in the 17th game or did he get it in the 16th game? I think that would be a discussion, but with good reason. Yeah, I mean, these guys did it in less. Now, I did not see the 14-game schedule, so I don't know what the conversation was when everything kind of changed over. I was a little young when Dickerson did it. That was in '84. I don't really remember that. And I was a big Eric Dickerson fan too, but I don't remember the talk about what it was like when he did it at that time. But I think you definitely have to bring that up, is that if one guy did it in 16 games and the other guy does it with 1 extra game, there's no question that this was baseball, that would be discussed big time.
Yeah, and, I get when Dickerson broke it, he played 2 extra games, but that's just kind of how it goes, right? They've added games all the time in new eras. I don't think you should take anything away from it, but if he does it in 16 games, then there's no discussion. Then you can't even make that argument if he does do it in the 16 games, but he does have that extra game now to break the record. I still think it's a big deal if he does break it in that 17th game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you get over 2,000 yards, it's still a big deal, even in 17 games, because you're getting over 100 yards a game. I mean, and that's basically the pace that Barkley's been rocking here. I mean, he's you take a look at, like, what he's doing. He is on pace right now, based on this pace, assuming he plays every game for the rest of the season, he has a chance to break the rushing record and the scrimmage yards in a season. So his rushing yards, he's on pace for 21-23. So that would just put him above Dickerson, who has 2105. He did that in 1984. So he would get there by just the slimmest of margins if he stays on the current pace.
Yeah, and listen, it all comes down to what the Eagles do and what the Detroit Lions do in these last few games of the season. Remember, Detroit has a little bit of a tougher schedule as well heading down the stretch here. They have a bunch of division games, whether it's the Packers, the Vikings coming up. They have the Bears as well, and then they play Buffalo. So it's going to come down to how these teams finish. The Eagles have a favorable schedule coming down the stretch here. They got Carolina next week. They do have the Steelers coming up, but then they end with the Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants. They have a more favorable schedule than the Detroit Lions. So that's going to play a role into whether Saquon's going to play in that last game against the Giants. That might not mean anything, and you're going to want to sit the guy. You don't want to have to play him and, take a shot or a chance that he gets injured. You don't want that happening. So maybe he can do it in that last 16th game.
Yeah, I think the way they navigate the end of the schedule is going to be very interesting. Have they clinched? Are they still in play for the number 1 seed? They do play a pretty favorable schedule late in the year. Dallas, who's played better of late here. The Giants, who are a mess. Dexter Lawrence is done for the year now, so their best run stuffer would be out. So they do have a couple of games late in the year where you wonder how competitive are those games? How much are they going to need those games? All that stuff comes into play. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the Eagles play the games late. If Barkley's on pace, yet they don't, because of the number 1 seed still being in play, that will be a factor as well.
Yeah, I want to put this hypothetical out to both of you, Pete and Mike. Let's say they clinch, the Eagles are in the postseason, that last game doesn't matter, and he needs about 113 yards to get the record. Are you playing him in that final game?
Absolutely.
It's a tough one, man.
I'm going to start him in the game and see how the game goes.
I mean, if there's nothing to play for in the game, everything's clinched, they can't be the number 1 seed, and they've already won the division. And they're the number 2 seed already.
And there's no bye, so they have to play the next week anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't want to rest your guys all that much because they don't have the bye. So keep them fresh, put them out there. It would be against the Giants. So
no, I think it would be the opposite. They would say, we don't have a bye. We're going to sit you this week.
Now, that game would be against the Giants, so Barkley getting the rushing record.
That's another thing that factors in.
Giants.
It's against the Giants to see how they play. I can't imagine they would risk the injury, though. They don't play guys in the preseason at all. I can't imagine that they would take that chance.
What if it's like 25 yards? Then you got to play him, right?
Then I think, yes, he might get a couple touches, get the record, and then they get him out of the game. 113 yards,
I just threw that number out there. I was like, what if it's like, I think 50 yards is probably the lowest I'd go. And then after that,
rip
it's
off
more
a
than
nice
50.
60-yard run.
Yeah.
That'll get you there.
Yeah, so it's going to be fascinating to see if he's able to get there. I've been getting in tons of arguments on Twitter about this, or at the X platform, about this entire conversation, how it's going to shake out. But it has a lot to do with the seeding in the postseason if that last game's going to matter.
Look, we're so far away. I mean, I know it's coming quick. We're still 5 weeks away from.
Yeah.
Just think about, they were talking about it during the broadcast yesterday. When Baltimore won that game, it's a 2-game swing. You're 8-4 as opposed to 7-5. How a 4-game separation in your record is different from a 2-game separation in your record. That's how different 5 weeks from now could look between Philadelphia, Detroit, and anybody else. Green Bay is still in this mix. Minnesota is still in the mix. They only have 2 losses. So they're right there with you. I know Philadelphia is, 3 games, I think, up on the number 3 seed. So for Philly, it's either the 1 seed or the 2 seed. It looks like 3 or 4 is kind of far-fetched for them at this point, unless they have a total collapse like last year.
Yeah, and it started like around this time. So, there's still a lot of football left to be played, but it's fun thinking about if Saquon can get to that big record that Dickerson holds. All right, nugget number 2. Listen, on the offensive side, you lose Jason Kelce this year. He retires. Now, the defensive side loses Brandon Graham. You also lost Fletcher Cox to retirement during the offseason. So, based upon yesterday and up until this point, you lost Brandon Graham. What side of the ball have you been more impressed by in the trenches? The offensive line or the defensive line? I got to say, I've been more impressed by the defensive line in the sense they lost Fletcher Cox at the beginning of the year because he retired. Brandon Graham is now out, and they played fantastic yesterday against a MVP-level quarterback in Lamar Jackson. Nolan Smith stepped up. Jalen Carter stepped up. And you had Josh Sweat step up. And you needed those guys to step up yesterday. So I would say the defensive line, I am more impressed by. Mike, Pete, which side are you more impressed by in the trenches?
I mean, it's the offensive line, and it's not really close for me. I mean, you got a guy on pace to break the all-time rushing record, and you've done it, by the way. You talked about some of, Fletcher Cox, he left. Well, they lost Jason Kelsey. They also had a game where they played with no Jordan Mailata for 4 weeks. They also had a game where they played without Lane Johnson. They had a game where the right guard was out. So, yeah, the offensive line to me is I say it all the time. Saquon Barkley might be the MVP of the league. He's second right now. He has the second shortest odds. But the star of this team is the offensive line. That is their star. The Eagles' defensive front it's very interesting because they don't have a star. Well, right. I mean, Jalen Carter is becoming the face of that defensive line. But when it comes to somebody, an edge rusher, when you look at a defense, you think of a star, you think of that guy who sacks the quarterback, the edge rusher. They don't really have that guy, which is what makes this defense so interesting of how they're getting it done without the TJ Watt or the, Hutchinson, who's obviously hurt right now. But that level of edge rusher. But Jalen Carter is becoming their version of Fletcher Cox, or even he might even surpass Fletcher Cox.
And a quick side note on that offensive line, you didn't even mention Mekhi Becton. He's on here playing a new position, and
he's getting a little overzealous with those silent count slaps on Jurgen. I mean, he's like karate chopping them.
But the point is that this is probably a conversation for the offseason. He's on a 1-year prove-it deal. So he kind of rejuvenated his career here. You wonder what happens next year. But Becton certainly.
And that's interesting. I mean, you don't want to take a look at the offseason too much here, but a lot of people thought that Tyler Steen played pretty well. That's another guy. Becton got hurt in this game.
Becton has outplayed him.
But a lot of people thought, but my point is, do you just say, hey, Tyler Steen, we don't have to pay him the money that you're going to have to pay Mekhi Becton, because Becton's going to get a lot of looks on the free agent market. Now, the question is, are people going to look at him to go back to tackle or as a guard?
Yeah, because he made the transition.
Where's his agent going to want the money to be a tackle or a guard? That's going to be the interesting part here.
Yeah, and is he going to want to leave here? And you have to remember, though, Becton, he has been the standout on the defensive side. You look at the linebacking position of the front seven. Zach Vaughn is on a 1-year prove-it deal. So
he's another guy.
You bring up the offseason. Are they going to have to bring him back? Should the Eagles pay him? Like, I don't know what you do there with Vaughn, too, because he has been unbelievable.
I know what you do. You sign him.
Sign him to the And Darius Slay, he's probably going to be gone. This is his last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Think Slay. I think this is the end of Slay. I mean, the injuries, he's been banged up almost every game. He missed yesterday. They have a lot of young guys in that secondary that they like. Rogers is a young guy. Ringo's a young guy. So I think this is – but, I mean, let's not look at what's up for next year yet. Becton has been a big role of why I like this offensive line or more impressed with the offensive line. Look, and as you said, they persevered some injuries. And they lost, just like the defensive line, a Hall of Fame level player. And still, they have a player who's on pace to break the all-time rushing record.
Listen, I'm not taking anything away from the offensive line, Mike, but I'm more impressed by the defensive line because there were already givens on the offensive line. Mailata, Lane Johnson. You kind of expected them to be pretty good. I mean, they've exceeded those expectations, but the defensive line was kind of an unknown. I mean, you had a lot of young players over there. Josh Sweat took a pay cut. You didn't know what you're going to get out of him. Brandon Graham's 36 years old. You got a lot out of him up until he got hurt. Nolan Smith, he stepped up. You didn't know how much he would take a step this year. I'm just more impressed because they have had a new system. They've had a lot of young players have to develop quicker than some of the guys on the offensive line, and they've done that. So I'm more impressed of that aspect of it than the offensive line, just because I feel like there's less talent on the defensive line than the offensive line.
Yeah, and listen, you can make the same argument on the offensive side of the ball. You got Mekhi Becton, who has kind of been a journeyman, a vagabond, and not a journeyman in terms of vagabond changing teams, but he's just constantly been hurt. He was a first-round pick. He's never really lived up to it. He changes positions. He wasn't even the starter at the beginning of camp, and now he's in there, and I would imagine he's probably going to make the Pro Bowl, whatever that means in this day and age, but he's been that good. You've got the new center, so you've got different faces, new guys playing there on the offensive side of the ball too. And as we mentioned, Fred Johnson, that whole story. I mean, he came in and played left tackle for 4 weeks, and I think everybody was waiting for when you're going to move Becton out there to go play that spot. And Fred Johnson shut everybody up and played that position really well.
This is one of my favorite nuggets because we get to talk about how good this team is instead of complaining about both sides of the ball. So that's how good both sides of the ball have been, especially in the trenches. That's where the Eagles have won and why they've won. So it's a fun nugget. I'm so glad that we even get to have that conversation on the Eagles play because it's been so positive. And that does happen too much around here. All right, we got to go negative, though. We have to go negative with nugget number 3. Talk about the 76ers, Mike and Pete. They got a win over the weekend. 4 wins. Cannot believe it. Paul George made his return. Finally, it seemed like he got a little banged up towards the end of that game as well again, but I think he'll be okay. And Joel Embiid continues to be out. Now adding a new designation, personal reasons, to his injury designation as well, Mike and Pete. Listen, they won. They play Charlotte tomorrow. Can they go on a 2-game winning streak here? I don't know. I think the Sixers can get 2 in a row.
Friday night. Was it Friday night? No, it was Saturday night.
Saturday
night was the best game they've played all season. I mean, it was they led from wire to wire. It was the best game they played all year long, and it was the first time they looked like they gave a bleep. They had young guys out there playing with energy. They had guys. Look, Josh and I got into a little conversation about this earlier, and I was telling him, I said, look, I get it. They signed a bunch of guys to fulfill roles that they are not playing in. So now you're asking guys, hey, Caleb Martin, hey, Eric Gordon, hey, insert guy. You're putting them 3 levels up the food chain when you don't have Maxey, and then you don't have George, and you don't have Embiid. You're saying, hey, our top 3 guys are out. Everybody that was the 4th, 5th, and 6th guy, you're now 1, 2, and 3. Well, what do you think's going to happen when you don't have guys that you signed to be 1, 2, and 3? You signed them to be 4, 5, 6, some of them to be 7, 8, and 9. Well, the other night, Ricky Council Jr. doesn't know any better, right? KJ Martin doesn't know any better. And you put now getting Maxey back, that helped. Paul George was back. That has helped. But it's the first time all year that you had a little energy and some guys make shots and get good looks because you had guys that could put the ball on the floor, create a little bit. Ricky Council, he's athletic. He can put the ball on the floor and create a little bit. So it was good to see them finally show a little sign of turning things around.
You just don't know where the scoring is going to come from.
No.
Other than Maxey. McCain's kind of hitting a wall a little bit, I want to say.
Well, they brought him off the bench the other night because I think they're saying it's hard to play.
It's really not fair to him, but you just wonder where the scoring is going to come from without Embiid on the court.
Yeah, and they didn't have a backup point guard, so they had to put McCain on the bench. They could not start Maxey and McCain together. It seemed to work out. The offense was fine. Maxey had a big night, so they're on their way. It's one game at a time here, Mike, with the 76ers. They're not the worst record in basketball anymore. The Wizards have been that bad. They've been even worse. They only have 2 wins on the season. That's where the 76ers are at. But that's my 3-pack of nuggets
They're only,
today.
by the way, they are 2 losses behind the play-in teams right now. So they are kind of hanging around the
a fake playoff team.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
Well,
okay.
I said you gotta set little boundaries because I've said before I'm not shooting for the play-in, but you gotta get to
the benchmarks here.
Yeah, you gotta get a little benchmark here where hey, let's get out of this bottom. Let's get into that play-in and then get ourselves out of that. We'll see because Joel Embiid not playing again tomorrow night. He has already been ruled out for the game. All right, Knicks Nuggets. As always, here on the Sports Bash. Thanks, Nick.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, that's today's Nuggets, and they're brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, which is where we are each and every Monday for the Sports Bash. And you can obviously listen, watch, and be a part of the show. You can watch the show on the X platform and on YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Use the hashtag SBLive. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get live alerts when we go live. And on the X platform, you'll get an alert when we go live to watch the show on the Sports Bash. Here we go. This hour brought to you by Jersey Cow, a great place for the family to hang out and eat ice cream. Jersey Cow is open every day from noon until 10 in Northfield and in Brigantine. Ice cream is a year-round thing at Jersey Cow. When we come back, John McMullen gives us his insight on the Eagles' win over Baltimore.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. AFC action coming up with the Cleveland Browns at the red-hot Denver Broncos. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix in Denver looking to improve their record to an impressive 8-5. The confident Browns are coming off a big division win over the Steelers.
Listen to Monday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to book today.
Tired of hearing no? Everywhere you go, we turn no into go during Black Nissan's November sales event. Say no to high-priced new cars. Brand new Matte Black Nissan Sentra S, just $19,999. Say no to low trade offers. AJ the Trade Man wants your trade, no matter the make, miles, or condition. Say no to down payments. Say no to payments for 90 days. And say no to high interest rates. 60 months, 0% financing on every clearly marked new Nissan. Backed by Matt Black's 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Tired of hearing no to a discount on a new ride? New 25 Sentra S, under 20 grand.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Black Nissan.
Approved Tier 1 credit for NEMA. Negative equity financing. VIN number SY231649. MSRP 22,730 plus tax tag at $689.98. Offers can't be combined 0% for 60 months. Call 877-289-6667 or go to MattBlackNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends 12/5/24. It's on at Matt Black Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Winter is approaching. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Kelvy Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Kelvy Electric, the premier electrical contractor, serving South Jersey for over 110 years. Visit KelvyElectric.com today and stay ahead of any storm.
I got a line.
He got a line.
She got a line.
We got 4 lines. Cricket Nation. Q finger guns. Really easy. Super stress-free. 5G so fast. Like blazing fast. Games and memes. You'll have a blast. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. As we discuss, take it from us. We 4 are 1. Cricket Nation.
And only $25 a line. Welcome to more lines. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Discount varies by line. Fees may apply. Terms and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
The best call to make on game day is ordering catering from the Piccalilli Inn. For parties big or small, the Pick does it all. Your guests will be cheering for the Pick spin on football favorites like pulled pork nachos, cheesesteaks, burgers, and their award-winning buffalo wings, tails, and ears. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 at the Piccalilli Inn. Join the flock and follow the Pick on Facebook or at Piccalilli.com for their Pick game specials. And be sure to pre-order to guarantee your spot in Sunday's lineup.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Sage Jewelers' great half-off everything sale going on now.
Sage Jewelers says everything in store is on sale at half off, including their watch collection, Seiko, Simpson, and G-Shock.
That's right, 50% off their finest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, IGI-certified lab-grown diamonds, engagement rings, top designer jewelry collections, and more.
But hurry, the sale won't last long. Sage Jewelers, the real jeweler, Tilton Road, Northfield, open every day until Christmas.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Ooh, we got a question. Brian W. asks, it's the holiday season and I'm looking for deals. Is Xfinity having a Black Friday sale?
Well, Brian, our best deals of the year are here. Get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Just ask us how. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price.
So don't wait. Bring home a new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence.
And connect to reliable 5G and Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile.
That's a big deal.
More like a gig deal.
Now through December 3rd, ask how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us with an unlimited Plus line. Plus, get 300 megabit Xfinity internet and an unlimited mobile line together for only $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Tune in to the Bet365 Play of the Day during the Sports Bash with me, Mike Gill, every weekday afternoon at 5:45 on 97.3 ESPN. Made possible by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's time to unlock the magic of Cyber Monday deals at Target. Go online and save up to 50% on toys, tech, clothing, shoes, small appliances, and more. Plus, get 25% off on beauty, vitamins, and nutrition to keep your holiday sparkle glowing. And here's a little more magic. When you spend $35, you get free shipping. Don't let these Cyber Monday deals vanish. They end Monday. Save more on gifts this season. Happier holidays from Target. Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Dan Tracy. I'm a workers' compensation attorney. At Goldenberg Mackler, we've handled thousands of workers' compensation claims over the years. Our experienced attorneys understand the law and will fight to get you the benefits that you deserve. When injured at work, make the right call to Goldenberg Mackler. Call us at 609-344-7131. That's 609-344-7131. Or visit us online at gmslaw.com.
Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, son of a gun!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Just in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort studio, here's Mike Gill.
Has Nick Sirianni guaranteed himself of a job with the Eagles next year?
No. He's still got to win a playoff game minimum. He has to. I don't care if they get the number 1 seed in the first round bye. If they're one and done in the divisional round at home, it's on the board that the Eagles could still move off of Nick Sirianni.
Chris Candy today, he's not impressed. He's still not ready to jump in on Nick Sirianni, who, by the way, with the win yesterday, PG, Nick Sirianni is the 8th NFL head coach to go 10-2 or better in 3 straight seasons. Sean Payton, Bill Belichick, Tony Dungy, Mike Shanahan, Mike Ditka, John Madden, and Curly Lambeau are the others.
That's Super Bowl company right there, my friend.
Every one of them
Yep.
has a Super Bowl. But Nick Sirianni. Does Nick Sirianni have to take this team to a Super Bowl, or has he done enough? Winning 8 in a row yet again. The Philadelphia Eagles, led by Nick Sirianni, are 44-19 with Nick Sirianni at the helm, and they have erased what has happened last year, 10-2. They beat the Ravens yesterday, and maybe the most impressive win of their season. Let's get John McMullen in from Sports Illustrated and Birds 365 and get his take on where this team is at 10-2, John. You take a look at that game yesterday. What impressed you the most about the way Philadelphia wins that game? Well, I think his point was if they lost in the first round, would that be something that they would have to evaluate? Based on the way this season is going, right? You know, if they're 15-2. Yesterday, they followed the formula, John. They were patient. They're down 9-0. It's what we talked about last week. Can they throw if they get down 2 scores? Well, they didn't even try to throw. They stuck with the run. The patience of their offense yesterday, I thought, was really something that kind of brought that game back. They didn't try to get it all back in one play. Yeah. It wasn't. No, you're right about that. But I think that they only threw the ball 19 times yesterday. And for them to just stay patient with the run game and almost like, hey, we know we're going to bust one here. And I don't know that you can keep counting on that. But they get Barkley to bust one in the fourth quarter when they needed it. Well, and, look, they have a game again without Smith, and they win a game without Smith, which is something they haven't been able to do. When they've lost either Brown or Smith, they have struggled, and they did struggle. But in the end, they get the big run from Saquon Barkley, which was just enough. But you mentioned it. It was their defense. They're down 9-0, and then the defense turns up the screws. What stood out about what the defense did to settle in after getting down 9-0? And by the way, the touchdown throw to Mark Andrews is just a great throw by Lamar Jackson. Right. Well, it's the best defense in the NFL, and are our eyes matching the stats? John McMullen, Birch 365 in Sports Illustrated here looking at the Eagles win. You mentioned, no Brandon Graham last week. We talked a lot about what they were going to do. What did they do, and how did they kind of put that snaps together in the post-Graham weeks here? Jeez. Yeah, by the way, I thought Hunt played really well. I was shocked to see. By the way, 58. He looks a lot like Trent Cole out there, and I was like, man, he's done a good. He had I think he had a half a sack, or he was in on that big sack late. But I thought he did a decent job against the run. Considering I kept saying, "Who's 58?" Like, I'm like, "Who the heck is 58?" And I see Hunt, and I'm like, Hunt? Who is Hunt? And I'm like, oh, Jalix Hunt. I thought he played a pretty good game yesterday, and we'll see if they give him even more. But we got to talk about the two linebackers, man. Bond and Dean, 23 tackles between them. How much of a key was those linebackers being able to tackle Derrick Henry to this game? Can you believe you're saying that? Well, John, if you go back to week one, in Brazil. He had 3 sacks that night, and I remember laughing, saying, unless this guy's an all-pro, I mean, can we expect it? Now, he had 3 sacks that night. Now, yesterday he had a sack, but it's the 13 tackles that are the standout.
You see the white-haired man that was just standing here? You see where he went? Oh, my God.
Well, he had a big factor in the game yesterday. The sack was huge, but obviously, you mentioned getting tackles. And the Cooper DeJean, I mean, obviously he has the tackle that everybody's talking about, but the fact that they have guys like Bond and DeJean who tackle you, I thought in a game like yesterday, that's where it really proved its worth. There was no plays where they busted out of a tackle and got a big play. They pretty much, after the hit, they pretty much went down. No. Did you see Cooper DeJean having the impact that he's had? No doubt. And then, of course, Mitchell has been excellent there. Let's get to Dallas Goedert, who caught the touchdown pass, only had 3 catches for about 35 yards, but that touchdown pass has this knee problem, and it's like an annual occurrence, it seems. I know he's already missed some games, but what are we looking at here with Dallas Goedert in this knee injury? Well, they've been feisty the last couple of weeks. They gave a scare to Kansas City. They gave a scare to Tampa Bay yesterday. There's no question that they got a little extra spunk in them in the last couple of weeks. All right, John. Obviously, Saquon Barkley has this. He's on pace right now to get to Eric Dickerson's number in the 17th week of the season. Do you think the team cares about that? They do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, John, obviously, at this point last year they were 10-2, but they had lost to get to 10-2. Now they win to get to 10-2. It's their 8th straight win, and they'll play the Carolina Panthers this Sunday in Philadelphia. You can listen to the game on 97.3 ESPN as they beat the Baltimore Ravens down in Baltimore. A very gritty type of win, kind of a fight that they win over Lamar Jackson. And now Saquon Barkley is the second shortest odds to win MVP. Does he have a legit shot? Yeah. Those numbers have taken a jump, man. They were plus 6,000, then they were, 600. Now he's at what? Yep. Well, yesterday he passed over Jackson, and when he went for the touchdown, I looked immediately when he scored that touchdown, and I saw it in real time. He jumped over Jackson, and now he's number 2 on that list. But that just shows you that for him to be number 2 tells you what kind of impact and what kind of season he is having for the Philadelphia Eagles. Yep. Well, now, and Josh Allen threw a touchdown and caught one on the same play, which was kind of wild last night. In the snow, 49ers looks like they might be done. The NFC, it looks like a 2-team race. We'll have it all for you here. Unfold on 97.3 ESPN. John, appreciate it, pal. And as always, he's brought to you by Boardwalk Honda. Shop their lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com.
Yeah, if you look at the stat line for Josh Allen last night, 0 catches, 7 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown.
The old hook and ladder.
Yeah, that's a funny stat line. I've never seen that before.
Well, we got Big 3 coming up on the other side. We got so much happening. By the way, Week 13 in the NFL comes to a close tonight. You can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Broncos, and who are they playing tonight? Chargers, right?
Cleveland.
Oh, Browns. Browns.
6.5, I believe, is the
I like the
line.
Like the Broncos tonight. Got my Bet365 plays of the day coming up. Man, we were on the air on Wednesday. It's the last time we gave the old plays of the day. I don't even remember what I gave. All right, we'll get that all up to date. We'll do the big three. And this hour of the show is brought to you by Broadleaf's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing, service, installation for generations. Call them at 609-390-3907. Online, broadlees.net. Big three coming up next.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small. Can't wake up without it. Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
I need a new car. Under 20 grand? Okay, well, what's my trade worth? You know what? I'm going to Matt Blatt Kia, where I can get some straight talk.
Brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS, under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999. With any trade, that's less than most used vehicles. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and into your new Kia with 0 down, 0 payments until February, even 0% for 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. So bring any trade, because if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, 24 ED9, $13.89 per thousand finance. Not all will qualify. Credit and down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to MattBlattKiaFJ.com for complete details. Or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. KMF rebates and incentives to dealer. Expires 12/4/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike in Harper Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
I got a line. He got a line. She got a line. We got 4 lines. Cricket Nation. Q finger guns. Really easy. Super stress-free. 5G so fast. Like blazing fast. Games and memes. You'll have a blast. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. As we discussed, take it from us. We 4 are one. Cricket Nation.
And only $25 a line. Welcome to more lines. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Discount varies by line. Fees may apply. Terms and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Visit Boot Barn this week to save on top quality holiday gifts. We're offering holiday specials right now where you can get $50 off select men's exotic boots, 25% off select outerwear, Western shirts, flannels, and jeans. We're also offering savings on select workwear and children's Western wear. Visit us this week and save on top quality holiday gifts. Boot Barn. Unwrap the West.
Winter is approaching. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Kelvy Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Kelvy Electric, the premier electrical contractor, serving South Jersey for over 110 years. Visit KelvyElectric.com today and stay ahead of any storm.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21. Time to work on your gift list with Black Friday deals at the Home Depot. Right now, get a select tool from top brands like Ryobi and Milwaukee for free when you buy a select battery kit. Choose from reciprocating saws, multi-tools, sanders, and more. Whether you're stocking up on power for your personal workshop or grabbing the perfect gift for someone else's. Get Black Friday tool deals delivered from the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
Something is happening here. Off the New Jersey coast, a new offshore wind project is generating nearly $2 billion in economic benefits for the state. We're generating thousands of local jobs, but the most important thing we're generating is trust. Look closer at Atlantic Shore's offshore wind, and you'll see that we're generating a clean energy future with a team that values safety, the environment, science, and a commitment to being a good neighbor. Learn more at AtlanticShoresWind.com.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. The Eagles win their 8th straight game on Sunday as they beat the Ravens in Baltimore 24-19. They go to 10-2. Saquon Barkley, a 25-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter at 107 yards on the ground. Jalen Hurts had a touchdown pass to Dallas Goedert and added a 1-yard score. NBA, the Sixers on the road Tuesday night as they take on the Charlotte Hornets. Philadelphia coming off a victory Saturday against Detroit, beating the Pistons 111-96, getting 28 points from Tyrese Maxey. It was just the fourth win of the season for Philadelphia. It did stop a 2-game losing skid. NHL, the Flyers have won 3 straight. Thursday night, they'll be hosting the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Philadelphia coming off a 3-2 overtime victory on Saturday against the St. Louis Blues. And in Major League Baseball, the Mets agreeing to a 2-year contract with right-handed pitcher Frankie Montas worth $34 million. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
You're a winner when you play Borgata's Winning Wonderland. Now through December 28th, earn entries for your stake in over $1 million in prizes, including 2 2025 Range Rovers. Visit theborgata.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zero. Tomorrow's weather, same story, different day. Skies stay bright, temperatures stay cold, and that goes for tonight, too. We're dipping to around 28 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high only 41. Increasing clouds on Wednesday and turning breezy, high 42. Thursday morning, could see some snow and rain showers around. It's going to be a windy, blustery day, falling from the lower 40s into the 30s. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
Here is an important safety message from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety.
I'm New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin. Last year, there were 133 alcohol-impaired driving fatalities in New Jersey. That's 133 lives lost, 133 shattered families. Choose responsibility over recklessness. Don't drive impaired.
We have the perfect solution for sitting in traffic. Come with me. The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, we're live at the Fanatic Sportsbook here at Ocean Casino Resort. Let me tell you about my friends, though. The Eagles won. Get that great deal at Nizam's Route 40 EHT. It's a great spot. They serve delicious Indian dishes. Check out their Eagles football special. Free tandoori spicy chicken wings the week the Eagles win. For dine-in customers only. You can get that deal at the Nizam's, Route 40, Egg Harbor Township. They're open 7 days a week, 11:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night, with a special lunch buffet on the weekends from 11:30 to 3. Check them out and tell them the Sports Bash sent you. Mike Gill, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. All right, Josh, let's hit the text board up here.
Yeah, we got a plethora of texts to get to at 609-403-0973. Let's start with AJ at Cape May Courthouse, Mike, a little bit earlier. He says, hey, Mike, which has more betting value at this point? Would you go Barkley at 4-1 or Jalen Hurts at 50-1? I'm a desperate bettor, AJ from Cape May Courthouse.
Well, value, obviously 50-1's better. I mean, by the sheer definition, you want more value, you get 50-1. Which one's more realistic? I mean, Saquon Barkley's realistic. And I know John John's painting the picture of he's going to have to do something historic to even – he's only there right now because so if he has one off game, he's going to drop. So he's going to have to stay on a historic pace. And as John mentioned, if they lock everything up, they're not going to play him.
Right. Like the likelihood of him playing the final week of the season against the Giants right now is looking pretty low.
Right. So the value is 50-1, but Jalen Hurts doesn't have the numbers, nor has he had a moment to put him in the conversation. So the realistic, better option is Barkley because I don't think Hurts has any shot. He might as well be 5,000-1.
Yeah,
I mean, Josh Allen, that was his moment last night. Not to mention the game that he had against Kansas City. That was his moment to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, Allen, Lamar Jackson has some pretty incredible. What does he have? 30 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, something like that. I mean,
yeah, he's having a great year.
But again, he has 5 losses.
That's the problem. Is the amount of losses.
Right. The MVP has turned into an award where your team's success is almost as important as your individual success.
Right. I mean,
Baltimore they're not a guarantee to make the playoffs.
No, they're not. And they play Pittsburgh again
right
coming up here. So,
Mike, let's go to a Clarence in Delaware. He says, hey, Mike Gill, to put it simple, this year's Eagles are more poised in big games than last year. They don't get too high or get too low. That's Clarence in Delaware.
Well, you could make an argument that that's actually not accurate. You say big games. Last year, big game, Dallas on the road. They went down there and won. They won at Kansas City. They beat Buffalo. I mean, every big game they had last year, they pretty much won. It was the lousy games they lost. The Giants, the Cardinals, Seattle, the Jets. So they won the big games last year. Now, they lost the playoff game, obviously, but they beat the better teams on their schedule. That's where, when they were 10-1, and you were like, man, this team is 10-1, and they beat Kansas City, and they beat Buffalo, and they beat, the one team they lost to was San Francisco, and then that kind of started the downward trend. But they did win a lot of big games last year there, Clarence.
I think the optic is they didn't win because of the collapse down the stretch, Mike. But people, it's almost like people don't know how to mentally separate the final 7 games from the first 10.
Well, we talked about it a lot in the offseason, searching for what happened, and nobody really had a clear-cut answer for us. We asked Fletcher Cox at the Super Bowl. We asked Britton Covey at the Super Bowl, and they both had different answers.
That's part of the problem. Everyone has a different, somewhat of a different answer. I mean, there's been kind of a common thread in the players, in some way or another, like Brandon Graham and Covey and others pointed to the coaching, but the fans don't want to hear that.
Well, which is where I was. I said, and I don't like to blame the coaches too much, but I said the organization, they told you that they felt that their coordinators were not strong enough, and that's who they upgraded this offseason. They went and upgraded the coordinator position. It's one of the first things they did. They went out and got Kellen Moore, and they went out and got Vic Fangio. They blew both of those guys out and said, we made a mistake. And I think that was a pretty clear answer as to what they thought the problem was last year.
And to me, it's the aggression level that you're seeing this season versus last. The confidence is there. The aggression level is just by far a difference to me from what you saw last year.
Which lines up with what Phil says on the text board, Mike. He says, compare the defense this year to last year. It's absolutely unbelievable. He says they played 2 high safeties the whole game against the Ravens. Thought that wouldn't play into Henry, but instead it created confusion. They are playing outstanding. Now let's go get the number 1 seed. That's from Phil.
Well, their linebackers this year are significantly better than last year. Okay, Bond, as John chronicled, is playing at an all-pro level. Dean has been very good. Last year you had Cunningham and who was the other guy?
Morrow.
Nick Morrow.
Shaq Leonard.
They were terrible. The corner, James Bradbury, who, where the hell is he?
He's been on injured reserve.
Still?
Yes.
Still, he's eligible to be off the injured reserve, but he's not even a thought in your mind. They're paying him to do nothing this year.
I don't even believe he's injured anymore. I think he's just.
No one's even asked about him, but he played.
Why would you ask about him?
I'm just saying, he's completely irrelevant. But last year, he started and played pretty much every snap for you.
Yep.
In the slot last year, you had a revolving door. Maddox got hurt. Think about how much better you are in the slot this year than from last year. Think about how much better you are with Quinyon Mitchell than you were with James Bradbury. Think about how much better you are at linebacker. You can make an argument that the defensive front is similar, but Jalen Carter a year better. Josh Sweat was not great last year. He's played really well recently. Nolan Smith has 4.5 sacks. He had 1.5 sacks. He didn't get a lot of snaps last year at all. So, they're significantly better, and they didn't like the coordinator last year. There was a lot of reports about that.
Yep.
They're playing hard, and they're buying into Vic Fangio.
Matt from Sicklerville chimes in and says, any chance Carolina might be a trap game, and would you want to lose a game before the playoffs? It's tough to win this many games in a row and not have a letdown at some point. That's
Yeah, you always hear that. You always hear that kind of like, hey, can you really envision winning 8? If they win out, that would be, 13 straight wins, and then to win the Super Bowl, you'd have to win, another 4 unless you're the 1 seed. So you'd be going for a 17-win consecutive end. That's a lot to ask, Matt. I like where your mind is, but they can't afford to lose a game if they want the number 1 seed and then not have to win 4 games in the playoffs. Is Carolina a trap game? I mean, you're coming back home. They've been playing a lot better, but I don't think you can get trap game at this stage of the season when you're at 1 game out of the number 1 seed. And, by the way, you're going to know what Detroit did on Thursday night. So if Detroit wins on Thursday night, you have to keep pace with them.
And Carolina's, I mean, they're a 3-win football team. So
They're a scrappy team, though. They made the Chiefs and the
matter to
Bucs
me.
2 straight weeks struggle.
That's good for them. But again, with the way the Eagles are playing right now, a 3-win team, you should have no problem with that.
Well, we should note there has never been an Eagles team in franchise history that has ever had a 10-game winning streak. Every winning streak is 9 games or less. So for Philadelphia right now, history says they will not win out this year.
I mean, to answer Matt's question, would I like to see them slip up? Sure. But in a game when everything's decided. Like if they lost to Dallas in week 17 or whatever that is, 16 or 17.
Kenny Pickett's the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if they lost the game to Dallas, I know I don't want to lose to Dallas. I don't care about losing to Dallas if I've already locked up the number 1 seed and the division. Or if I can't get the number 1 seed and I've already locked up the 2 seed, I'll take a loss to Dallas if it means, hey, we're healthy and that maybe I slipped up before I got to the playoffs.
A couple more texts coming in here. Mike John from Cape May chimes in and says, hopefully our coaches let Saquon run it up over the next 4 games so we don't have to worry about him or anyone else playing when they don't have to in the final week of the year.
That's the goal. And John brought up a good point. Was the game where they said, hey, do you want to go for the record? And Barkley said, no, let the other guys go. I mean, that kind of gives you the indication of if they could break the record, but they've locked everything up, they're not going to go for the record.
Yeah, I think that they, like John put it very well. He says they don't care about the record, but it's not like they're going to avoid it. You know what I mean? It's the idea that, hey, if on our way to winning we can achieve this, that's great.
Absolutely, right. If they have everything locked up, you're not going to see them go for it. If they still have something to play for, Saquon Barkley will be out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shaner in EHC chimes in and says, Mike, I have to admit, in the first quarter, my faith was waning in this team. But by the end of the game, I was jumping out of my seat when Barkley ran for that TD, and I scared my poor wife and cats. When Coop tackled Henry, I think the astronaut struck space with me. Kellen Winslow gets, he means Kellen Moore here. Kellen Moore should get so much love for the way they stuck with the run. But Nick lets him do his thing. They know their role. They prove something to me as a fan. Shaner and EHT.
I agree. The fact that they stuck with the run when they were down 9-0, and I said I thought that's where Hurts played his best, was when they were down 9-0 to get them back. The throw he makes to Goddard, who, by the way, Goddard looks like he could miss some time now, but that was a great little slip-out throw. Hit him right in the perfect spot on the run, and they didn't try to do too much. They stuck with the run. I thought their offense – now, John mentioned they were dreadful in the third quarter. They didn't have the ball in the third quarter.
Right.
So they weren't dynamic, but I thought that they stayed patient, even though they didn't have a lot of possessions and they were down in the game.
Steven Ventnor chimed in and says, Bradbury is busy doing charity work. That's why you never see him anymore, because he feels bad for getting paid so much.
Who? Oh, Bradbury. Yeah. I honestly totally forgot he was even still here. I mean, and I said, before the season, I mean, they moved him to safety. I mean, come on. He was going to play. Like, people were talking about you could trade him. No, you're not going to trade for a guy who stunk last year. And Steven Ventnor probably wanted to. That guy's always coming up with wacky trades.
Steven Ventnor is the
How many
master.
times does he have Mike Trout traded to the Phillies?
Every week.
For the last 15 years, Mike Trout's been traded to the Phillies.
Speaking of Ventnor,
for like 9 guys that nobody wants. I'm telling you, that guy does that just to be like, hey, I've heard of these guys. Yeah, great. Nobody wants them. You're putting together a trade with 7 guys that nobody wants and one guy for one guy who has a contract of $40 million a year. Good luck.
Let's get one more text in here, Mike. Joey D, speaking of Ventnor, chimes in and says, it was a great win by the Eagles. I like seeing Hurts being accurate and either running correctly or going to Goddard or throwing the ball away. Love to see it. Go Birds.
That's a good point. Hurts really, to me, he's shown that he knows when to run and kind of how to run, as opposed to what you kind of saw earlier.
There are times where I think he's busting out of that pocket a little too early and just kind of throwing it away. But he had a rushing touchdown yesterday. I thought that was a good run by him. There's a couple others where. And they pointed it out, Romo on the broadcast yesterday, there was one where he said, he probably should have kept it here. That's the one thing, that RPO, they brought back a little bit more yesterday. And it's like, where was that RPO 2 years ago? He was He made the right decision every single time. And
Yeah.
he's not doing that anymore.
And then the one play, Becton was caught downfield because I think Becton thought he was going to run, and he was trying to pass it. So it's kind of like the part of the problem with the RPO now is I think it was Dominique Foxworth, Mike. We played the audio a little bit earlier this year, basically saying that, him and Orlovsky were saying that the RPO is basically dead now because of all these offensive linemen can't float down the field anymore.
Yeah, but you saw more of it yesterday. I'll tell you what. They brought the RPO in the pass game back more yesterday.
In the pass game, right.
Yep. I guess that's a signal that you're done.
That's it.
Well, we burned through all the texts that were worth reading. Some of them are just kind of like
hit
Wow.
my music.
Worth reading.
Well, I mean, the one guy's trying to say that they shouldn't have gave Angelix Hunt that sack. He said that was absurd. We got another guy in here. I think he's mad at somebody. He doesn't say why. He's just calling somebody an idiot earlier in the show. Doesn't
Gotta
say
be
who or why.
Or Moshe, McGarry, McMullen.
It was at 4:41, so it could have been one of three people. So,
Nicky Nuggets. That was a Nicky
Right.
Nuggets time.
another person.
I imagine if you're talking about 441, we're probably talking about wanting Barkley to play, even though the game doesn't mean anything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the person didn't leave their text, but I'll read the full text for you. He says, whoever said that is absolutely a flaming idiot. This flaming idiot. He shouldn't have been in the game in the end last night. I was screaming at my TV. My God, get a clue, whoever said that. Tell them they're a flaming idiot.
All right. You want to take that one? Flaming idiot?
No, I'm not going to take that.
Well, you said that you would play him.
I would play him. I wouldn't. Again, if he's 150 yards away from the record, I would start him and see if he can rip off a 50-yard runner.
Flaming idiot.
Yep. 24-19 the final. I don't remember the score I gave on Wednesday, but I thought it was going to be like a low-scoring kind of, nasty game. And it was for the most part. Baltimore got a late score. All right, we've got the Bet365 play of the day coming up. We'll see how I did on Wednesday. I don't remember.
I will let you know, Mike, you actually didn't give any plays on Wednesday. There was so much chaos and mudhead.
Oh.
You were just trying to get, everybody organized for the end of the show.
True. All right. Well, we'll give one today. That's next. Stick around. Live from the Fanatic Sportsbook. It's a Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. AFC action coming up with the Cleveland Browns at the red-hot Denver Broncos. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix in Denver looking to improve their record to an impressive 8-5. The confident Browns are coming off a big division win over the Steelers.
Listen to Monday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to book today.
Score a touchdown when you bank with Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Catch lower rates on loans and higher rates on savings. You'll cheer when you don't have to pay a penny to get your own money since they offer 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs. Get the details or open an account online with just a $25 minimum deposit at JerseyShoreFCU.org or swing to a branch in Northfield, Galloway, Hamilton, or Rio Grande. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Visit Boot Barn this week to save on top quality holiday gifts. We're offering holiday specials right now where you can get $50 off select men's exotic boots, 25% off select outerwear, Western shirts, flannels, and jeans. We're also offering savings on select workwear and children's Western wear. Visit us this week and save on top quality holiday gifts. Boot Barn. Unwrap the West.
Shop Dell Technologies Cyber Monday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Cyber Monday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hi, I'm Larry Mintz. When dealing with a workers' compensation claim, in most cases the injured worker doesn't get the money they're entitled to. That's why you need the right lawyer. When injured on the job, call us first. We'll speak with you for free and get you all the money and benefits you deserve.
Make the right call to Goldenberg Macklin,
Call us at 609-344-7131. That's 609-344-7131. Or visit us online at gmslaw.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Looking for the perfect RV to hit the open road this fall? Look no further than Hitch RV, your premier RV dealer. They're offering unbeatable pricing during their fall reduction sale on a wide range of RVs, from cozy travel trailers to luxurious motorhomes. Hitch RV is dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and quality RVs. Visit them today at hitchrv.com/Berlin or call 856-629-7400. Hitch RV, your adventure awaits.
Let's face it, winter can be a hard season. It's cold pretty much all the time. Blizzard. You have to shovel. Another blizzard. You slip on ice. But you know what makes winter suck a little less? Getting a free phone. Join Cricket Nation and get a free Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. Ooh, ouch. Welcome to enjoying more. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must open a new line on the $60 unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is your go-to Mitsubishi Electric Elite Diamond contractor in South Jersey. This holiday season, consider upgrading to an all-electric heat pump from Mitsubishi Electric to keep your home warm and cozy. With energy efficiency incentives, rebates, and 0% financing. It's more affordable than ever. Make the switch before year-end to qualify for up to $2,000 back in federal tax credits. Call Broadleys today for a free quote at 609-390-3907 or visit broadleys.net.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to the Sports Bag with Mike Gill.
And it just keeps getting better.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, time for the Bet365 play of the day. I'll give that to you in just a second. What did we hand out on Wednesday for the Eagles game?
Mike, you had 28-24 Eagles.
28-24 Eagles. I was close.
You were in the neighborhood. You also had your game ball and defense going to Zach Bond.
13 tackles.
That works.
Sack.
So
Offense?
Offense was Goddard. He did score a touchdown.
Oh, he scored the first
That
touchdown
works.
of the game.
And the third down.
Big third down.
Big third down.
Overall, but those weren't your picks. You didn't have picks this weekend, Mike. But overall, you are 72-50. So why don't you give the people some more winners?
All right, got a winner for you tonight. I like the Broncos and the under. That's my play for the Bet365 play of the day. It is Broncos and the under tonight against the Cleveland Browns. You can listen to that game on 97.3 ESPN. By the way, either anybody out there listening or either of you two watch Severance on Apple TV?
Nope.
I don't have Apple TV.
It is bizarre, dude. Now, my question is, anybody out there listening, if you've watched this show, Severance, I'm 3 episodes in, and my girlfriend and I are looking at each other like, what are we doing? Do I keep going or not? 609-403-0973. Hurry up. Somebody let me know. Adam Scott's in it. John Tarantino. Patricia Arquette. Christopher Walken.
Good
It's
cast.
a really good cast.
I would say give it a couple more episodes. 3 episodes.
It has been rough, man.
Give it a
Apparently,
little
what did I say it was called?
Severance.
Severance.
That's not a good
So
sign.
when you go to work, you completely don't realize you have a life outside of work. Your mind gets severed, and you have no recollection of your life, work, and personal.
Sounds like you the last 4 shows just on the road.
On the road again. I'll be back in studio tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
It's 6